Okay, I believe we are live. Yes, we are. Okay, okay, I need to do some formalities on the YouTubes, and once I do that, we'll be fine. Okay, we got that. We'll pin this message. Um, I want to edit the title super fast. Okay, so I don't know how long this stream is going to go and how long we're going to discuss this, right? Because obviously, like, I'm a smaller channel. Hi, Frosty. Thanks for the happy birthday message. Since I am a smaller channel, like getting people in to kind of discuss this is going to take time. But that video has been performing pretty decently to the point where I kind of felt like, okay, we need to sit down and kind of talk. Okay. Like I can't like I love reading comments and things like that, but I genuinely cannot sit down and just kind of one by one reply to everybody. I think it's better if I do it like this, right? So there were some people that were like, thanks for taking the time to read everything and all that type of stuff. So I'm gonna just go by and reply to some of them and say that okay, let's talk about it. I'm live now. Um, okay, so we're gonna go there. We're gonna be like, to anyone tuning in, I am live now with the birthday stream and discussion. Let's talk here. Okay, so we're gonna leave that as the comment. We're gonna pin that, and I'm gonna give it like maybe 1 or 2 games because I'm on an alt account, so I might just do like 1 or 2 ranked games, and from that point, we can see what we can do. I'm also in a call with my girlfriend, so if she's in and out, that's the person. And here we go. I've not played on this account in super long, so for argument's sake, I could play support and prove my point. But I don't have a lot of the broken characters unlocked on this. Like I got Life Ever locked, Iliari locked. It's only 2 characters to unlock. It's probably not that hard to do, but I kind of feel like playing Genji. So we will go play a round of ranked, and hopefully by then we have a decent amount of people dropping by because I don't know how the live video will perform. And even if it doesn't, it's fine. What we will do instead is um, we are going to look at the comments, and according to the comments, we will address the concerns and what I'm kind of seeing being thrown around, which I feel like a lot of the comments are extremely biased and unfair because they literally missed my point, right? Because some of them are like, oh, you want supports to be a walking health pack, you want supports to be um not being able to do anything. That's legitimately not what I talked about, right? And they were like, well, you're kind of isolating it down to healing, and it's like, well, no, I didn't do that. I'm talking about like when you have high healing numbers and then you combine it with sustained based abilities throughout the different roster, it starts to create a very like bad state of the game that we've been there on 2 different occasions, and on each different occasion it's not been fun for the game. And I was actually like watching a video from Seagull, like the state of Overwatch, and it's so sad that those exact points from all the way back then are still the same points that are relevant today. Like I feel like if we couldn't make progress from the points back then we have failed as a game to make progress overall, right? Hard counters, healing being too high, this character exists, therefore I can't play the game. Good luck, Genji. I hope you won't have to see a 500 HP Life Fever. I am 100% going to see Life Fever. Actually, the thing is, like, I don't know what my MMR is on this account. I reached top 500 with this account in Overwatch 1, and then I never played it again. See, it's just like season 2, season 3, season 5. Like these are the Overwatch 1. I think these are the Overwatch 1 ones because I left it after that. I never touched this account again. See, level 82, level 1, like this. I've legitimately not played on this account in God knows how long. Um, but like I was like, oh, I don't want to play on ranked on main, because if I play ranked on main, I have to play Bastion. So if I'm gonna soft throw by playing Genji, might as well soft throw in an account that I haven't touched in a while because I got a bunch of accounts. And so we'll see what the games are, how things go, and things like that. And yeah, like from an overall perspective, I will discuss the stuff too. We can just talk about the comments in general, what people were saying, right? And it's a mixed bag. I'm seeing a lot of good comments and I see a lot of confused comments of, yeah, but how do you address this problem? And we're gonna talk about the problem like in a moment. Like we will definitely come down and talk about the problem. Also, I don't have my sensitivities here. I need to deal with the sensitivity problem for 15. Oh, okay, no, we actually have the sensitivity here. We're fine. So yeah, and man, that video is performing. It's got people talking. It's got people just popping in. We need to do something about that. Um, some of them are just like echo chambers of what I've said, and they agree that yeah, the supports are like this and that. I'm this character main, and this and this, all that type of stuff. Some of them are a little bit out of control. Um, this is a very interesting comment. This person agreed with my take on Mercy, and I can read up on this in a second. Like, this person Alex was like, I agree with a lot of what was said about Mercy. I believe that she's in a horrible state with her only utility being powering up a DPS hero. For example, she heals less than more supports with her movement. Yeah, she can counter things. That leaves many Mercy mains feeling like she's underpowered, but then comes in her damage boost. That leaves her in a spot where she either damage boosts or she just doesn't do her job. Blizzard cannot buff any part of her kit. Finally, it destroys the whole aspect of a team comp because you instead have Mercy DPS working well together while the tank, other support do their own thing separately. Yeah, so this is why like I don't have a problem with Mercy. It's like one of the things I was talking about. Hello, hello, and happy birthday. Thank you, leftover donut. Dude, Mr. Donut, I had a donut this morning. We had Dunkin' Donuts and they had a breakfast deal, so we were indulged in that. So Donut, you left a comment as well. I'm gonna address that in a moment. Hold on, I just messed up my screen. Um we're gonna start in a rank game. We're gonna kind of let people come in and everything, and then we'll talk about everything. And this person was just talking about Mercy. Like, I agree with a lot of what you said about Mercy, and I see a lot of discourse about Mercy, but I'm honestly like honestly, the Mercy problem is really not that bad. Even when she becomes like relevant, it's not that bad because the way I've understood the game now, that these when the game gets slowed down away from dive, a lot of the worser playstyles become relevant. And it's like at that point we have to choose our poison. Like when we narrow down the game, do we want poke? Do we want brawl? Do we want dive? Right? And the way I see it, dive is the healthiest form of the game. Why? Because it generally requires a good amount of skill input, whether you're playing Diva, Wrecking Ball, Winston, Reinhardt. Sorry, not Reinhardt, Doomfist, I meant to say, right? Like, these are characters that, while on paper, you can simplify some of the things that they do. The consistency execution is like to be consistent, it needs a lot of commitment. Like one wrong punch and you feed with Doom, one wrong bubble placement, Winston, you're gone, right? And with Diva, a lot of low elo Diva players just burn defense matrix. So that's what I'm talking about, right? Like we're gonna play a ranked game. I don't know what the MMR is. So let's see how it goes. Maybe it'll show us. It doesn't because Overwatch 2's rank system just doesn't want you to know anything. It just wants you to play the game and leave, which is just extremely anti-competitive as well. Here we go. So we got a Moira on our team, so I can already assume that this is a bit of a lower elo game. Oh no, wait, this is kind of high elo. Kim Kimchi is a Masters GM support. Well, are they still man, or is this their alt? Because I know they have an alt account. Holy, oh my god, they got their tank to top 500 and then master. Okay, so this is like somewhat of a high elo game. It's a little bit diamond to Masters level gameplay. I hope you enjoyed the donut. I did. I had two of them. They were both the cinnamon roll donuts. I don't know if you've ever tried them. So we will talk about the points after this one game, just so we can give some time for people to pop in here. And yeah, by the way, check out this reticle though. All right, we got Doom Sim. Okay, okay, we got an honest game of Overwatch here. We don't got the Orissas. We got some Bastion. Sorry, the Torbjorn. They got Bastion. Oh my god, they're just missing one component. Okay. I'm sorry. I just headshotted the Torbjorn twice. There we go. Oh, I gotta run. Oh, I gotta run. Oh my god. He's just better. He's just better. That's very, very nice. Infinite mobility, by the way, on a support character. Imagine if Genji could dash, like, just like if I just crouched and dashed and crouched and dashed. It would be very funny. At this point, I'm like memeing into it. Like, I don't think Bab's mobility is a problem. Don't worry. It's like us playing Doomfist here is extremely awkward because Poke just counters Doomfist softly, and he's just like they have a lot of these characters that are like just like putting so much pressure on our Doom he can't walk in. Good try though. I saw that coming. Okay, I destroyed the turret, but we can't push in. We destroyed healing pylon. This is exactly what I mean. Oh god, I'm in a bit of an awkward situation here. Wait, I'm destroying immortality field. Okay, now I can play the game. I cannot play the game. There's all these buildables playing the game for the enemy team, and we just don't want to mirror it. Oh, there comes the Bastion. This is the state of the game. Here comes Bastion. So now we need an Iliari and we need to go Torb as well if we want to win. Because if we don't mirror this, you just lose, right? Like our tank is 0 to 2 right now. Oh, there's a Moira flanking on the side. Like, what are you gonna do? Okay. I think this is winnable. Like, why are we not focusing Doom? Like, he's feeding. Come on, man. That was winnable. Oh, this is boring. Discord is super strong. They actually, the nerf that they gave Discord was extremely clever. And I would actually kind of say that it made Zen relevant because here's the funny thing, right? In theory, this is in theory, Zenyatta in theory should unironically be really good into Orisa, Bastion, and Torb because they're kind of stationary targets, right? So you can like Discord and just snipe things, destroy the turn, destroy this, destroy that. The problem is that Zenyatta get this. Zenyatta doesn't have enough damage to burst through the double main healer. Look at this, we're playing double main healer now too. This is the problem. This is exactly the problem that I'm talking about. We just have to mirror it. Like if I don't go to, but honestly, I'm tired of playing Torb, Echo, and Bastion constantly. Like I feel like I can make it work. It requires our Doom to swap. This is the problem with the like why our Doom isn't working and their Doom is. Look at that. It gets bursted down. There's too much damage. And funnily enough, the damage is coming from supports. Wait one moment. Yeah, hi, welcome back. I'm streaming now. Just a heads up. Yeah, yeah, you're fine. Don't worry. Yeah, yeah, all good, all good. Don't worry. I know you do. Yeah. So essentially, like this is the state of the game right now. Like, why would you put in any effort when enemies locked in Bastion Torb? Look at that. Look at this. I can punish the Baptiste. It just doesn't happen because Immortality Field, right? And now they can punish us. Look at that. That entire team fight, I just spent a majority of that team fight shooting buildables. This is the state of Overwatch. This is why in the gaming community, Overwatch is seen as a joke. Like from a gameplay perspective, I'm not talking about monetization and things like that. The longer we stay in a state of the game like this is exactly what discourages people from playing this game. Like for how long do we want to make? Look at this. I can't interact with their cat. I have to destroy pylon. If I don't destroy pylon, they have constant healing. My engages mean absolutely nothing. Our Ana wasted nano, so my character's useless. My Ana decided that I don't. Yeah, Ana decided I don't deserve to one shot them. You know, so by that logic, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die because I didn't destroy the turret. They put up a new turret. My bad. Like, I'm so sorry for not interacting with with the buildables. I destroy pylon, destroy metallic field, destroy torp turret. Okay, you want to go interact with them? No. Here comes another turret. Here comes another metallic field. This is the state of the game, and we don't want to mirror this. Like, look at this. Look at there's a turret here, right? That's passively killing our team. There's a turret there which zone controls that spot for their tank to never die. Like, what can we do? We didn't lose because they outplayed us. We lost because they had more buildables than us. They had three extra players. They had three extra players. What? I spent the entire second round shooting buildables. That's so funny, man. Like, are you on the stream, by the way? Like, Gina, are you there? Dude, I spent yeah, yeah. Um, Look at this. We're gonna break this down, right? This is essentially what we're talking about. I feel this so hard as support man. 5 years, I get away with so much. Previously, would be hard punished. Wait, so this is what I mean, right? From an overall perspective. Okay, we got some people gathered up now. That's nice. So this is what I mean, right? When you put all these things together, it creates an extremely unhealthy game environment. Like at that point, I'm just like, I don't care anymore. Like I've been very soft on the balance team. On okay, if we make this mistake once, fine. We made the mistake twice. That's a bit funny. And then we make the mistake for the third time, and it's like, what? Like guys, I want you guys to understand this patch that we're on, right? This was supposed to be the launch of Overwatch 2. Like, oh, we have a new player base, right? We want to make a good impression, and we're like, yeah, by the way, here's all these buildables. Have fun playing the game. Look at this. Okay, wait, look at the situation of this team fight, right? This is what I mean, right? Hold on. This team fight over here, right? Look at this. They have this turret, okay? They have Iliari's pylon somewhere. Like he's actually building a another turret. Oh no, this is the Iliari. Wow, they couldn't even make a unique turret icon for Iliari's turret. That's so funny. Okay, whatever. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter, right? Now my question becomes, right, when we know that this lobby was like masters level lobby, right? So it's like somewhat high elo, right? So essentially over here, right? Look at the skill the enemy has to put in, right? So if we don't destroy Torp turret, we lose, right? Because our Doom is just like giga feeding at this point, and he can't play the game, right? Because like anywhere he goes, there's high burst damage in the support. Whoa! Alex just subscribed. Thanks, Alex. Little jump scare, but you know, thanks for the happy birthday gift. And so look at this. Like people are like, oh, but there's too much damage in the game. Yeah, which characters do you think are doing the high damage? We got Baptiste. Okay, they have Bap and they have Iliari. And Iliari is legit a budget sniper, right? Like the funny thing is every time people say that, well, we can't nerf healing because if we nerf healing, there's too much damage in the game. I'm like, yeah, the problem is that they put too much damage in supports and tanks. We can start letting those roles be a unique identity in the way they interact with the game. Otherwise, we will always have this problem. And then we have to do something that we don't want to do, which is gigabuff DPS. Like, do you guys unironically want Tracer to have like 200 HP and like 60 damage per bullet or something? Because that is the future if we don't deal with support and tank. Because at that point, the data will reflect that damage heroes aren't doing anything. We've gone through this 2 times. Remember when Goats was a thing? Who did they gigabuff, right? Who was the character in low elo that became a problem? It was Reaper. They thought that okay, Reaper is the guy that deals with tanks, right? So what we will do is we will buff Reaper and hope for the best. And then it was irrelevant because it didn't change the meta at all for 2 years. And Reaper was a mainstay in low elo. This is why you can't balance for low elo. Or players like this. Like legitimately speaking, right? They win this team fight because we like they just have buildables. Right? They have more buildables, we can't win. What are we supposed to do? Look at the amount of healing, right? So we have Baps healing. Then there's the healing from his shift. Okay, so he has like two forms of healing in one go, right? Then we also have obviously like this is like the start of the fight, so Ilya is gonna reposition this. Hold up, I need a better example, right? Like I need an actual team fight where she gets set up because I think Iliari died early. I punished her or something, right? So we get in here. We're forced. So here's the thing: we're playing like a dive comp with a weird passion in there. We want to play quick, right? Because if we don't play quick, our comp falls apart. Our Doom goes in to play quick. What happens? Bastion. This is a Bastion. And now the Doom is like, oh shit. So now he has to play slow, right? Look at him. He already lost 50% of his HP, right? And essentially what that does is it forces the rest of us to play slow. Okay, so now when we're playing slower, we have to take slow fights. As we try to take slow fights, there's just one problem. Oh, look, look at this. Look at this. Look at there's 3 healing sources. There's 3 healing sources. There's Bap shooting a grenade this way. There's Iliari pylon coming here, and Iliari herself is healing towards a certain direction. So, okay, what is the way for us to win this? You're like, oh, Abby, just get better, right? Okay. Yeah, yeah, just try to kill them, just try to kill them. Wait. So, okay, the realistic solution here, the realistic solution is for us to destroy all the turrets and then punish them. Okay, let's see what happens when we try to do that, right? So I apply pressure onto the BAP. Over here, the BAP dies. Okay, the Baptiste was out of position. He was off angling. I can punish him. Now you're about to see why the DPS role is cosmetic. Okay, and immortality field. Immortality field. Look at the amount of buildables. 1, 2, 3. I do not have to interact with the player. I must delete the buildables, otherwise I will lose to the buildables. There is no skill in this. Why is this a thing? Look at this. I have to turn 3 corners from our choke to even interact with this, right? And look at where I have to be. I have to be in their back line where 5 people can look at me just to get rid of the healing pylon, right? So if you're like semi-competent on Iliari and you understand good positioning, right? You can use the pylon to bait flankers into a bad spot. Again, that's what's happening in high elo. That's what you're looking at right now, right? They had a top 500 player, right? So Kim Kimchi legitimately the Iliari, she's top 500, right? And now I'm in this position where I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I was about to punish Baptiste, right? He puts him in mortality field. I'm getting interacted with by the turret, and then I like whatever. Even let's say I do destroy mortality field, whoever I just put pressure on, the pylon will just heal them. And this is the problem with the game, right? This is like when you put all of this together. When you put all of this together, it creates an like guys. It's a 5v5 fight, and they have an extra 1, 2, third body that we need to interact with before we can think about touching the players again. How is this fun? How is this fun? And what is the input? BAP has to press E. He just has to look down and press E. I had to time my shurikens. I had to line myself up, dash into a very, very risky position to confirm the kill, and then dash back. I couldn't do that. Why? Because he pressed E. And even if he doesn't do that, he can just walk back into pylon, and the pylon brings him back. Like this is what I was talking about. Is like when you put all of this together, right? It's what look at this. So our Doomfist just got a punch on the Baptiste out of immortality field, right? He's getting pressured by the what is it? The Torp turret, so he's trying to retreat, right? Like he's trying to retreat. He's like, I can't stay here, right? By the way, the turret icon for Torp turret is bugged, so I know it's looking this way, but it's actually like shooting in different directions when the time comes in, right? So essentially, like, look, now we made a play. They killed our Bastion. I came in and I went and I killed their Bastion. I'm like, okay, we traded. Surely now we can make a play, right? Surely now we can make a play. I poke in and there's a pylon, there's a turret, right? And my Doom is under extreme pressure, right? And if we don't interact with turret and pylon right now, right, we die. And the worst part is we don't give the players attention, right? And because we don't give players attention, they can give attention to us while we're distracted with the buildables, and then we just lose because that's what happens. Look, the Doom was actually facing the turret. He wants to destroy turret. Look at this. I destroyed the turret, right? Look, I destroyed immortality field. I destroyed turret. And my next focus, like I need to survive first of all. My next focus has to be the pylon, right? Otherwise, we legitimately cannot engage, right? So I try to push the Doom here a little bit. Over here, the Baptiste gets me because he's good at the game and he doesn't have a sniper rifle on a primary fire, right? Oh no, he doesn't get me here, right? I try to punish this, right? Doom, right? Like he just gets pressured, but he can't die because look at that healing. Look at that healing. There's a window for him to get punished, right? Look at this. There's a window where he can get punished, right? I put some pressure. We got 2, 3 other people over here with Bastion coming in, right? Look at this HP bar. It will zoom. It will zoom. Oh, look at how fast he went up in a healing, right? And it's like, who do you pick? Unless you pick Bastion, you're not bursting through all of this. So my argument in the video is when you put everything together, all the high healing, all this buildable crap that we got going on, right? It's not good for the game. It's extremely unhealthy. Like you're never interacting with the player. You're just kind of there, right? And unless you play the same thing, which as you can see, we did get a Bastion, he got frustrated, right? Because he's played this meta for 1 month. He knows that if he doesn't play Bastion, it's over. And why did the enemy come out on Bastion and Torb as well? Because they know that if they don't play Bastion, they know if they don't play Torb, they lose, right? And that's the state of the game. That's why I played on my alt, because I don't care about the winning or losing over here, right? And I did my best. It's not like I came here to throw, right? But it just came to prove my point where people were like, oh, well, you don't have to pick Bastion, Torb, Echo. You can just play whatever you want. It's like, yeah, I can play whatever I want. And then in the time it takes me to interact with 3 buildables or try to burst through the healing in the game, they just kill all of us, right? Bob the Builder meta. We are in the Bob the Builder meta. That's amazing. That's unironically really funny. That's actually really funny. Look at this. Look at this. Okay, guys, we got the buildables. We're gonna walk in. Okay, we're walking in. Here we go. We pulled out Blade. It doesn't matter because I didn't delete another buildable. My apologies. I need to be aware of all the buildables in a first-person shooter game. Guys, do you like the new PvE update? The new PvE update is so fun. I love playing against the AI. We are 70% in, and we as a team, I'm not even saying we're bad or they're good or whatever, we as a team cannot interact with them. Story mode. All this Omnic shit going on. We got the AI over here. We got another AI over there. The support players are AI because they press one button and it gets value. Like, even if I pull this Blade out and I go for the BAP, right? Guess what's waiting for me? It's ready. So even if I destroy all of that, and then I push up to finally pressure the Baptiste, 70% into this round, on the second last fight, before we lose. These people are trying to justify this shit. Look at this, he's chilling. He has nothing to worry about. Let's look at the Bap's perspective. Look at this, he's vibing. He has nothing to worry about. Oh, here comes a Genji or whatever, who cares? My bad, I should have played that. Yeah, I should have played that better, Gina. I should have played that better. I should spend the entire game shooting all the turrets and then at the last moment pull out my blade to try and save the game and make a play, only for Babs Battlefield to be waiting. It's so funny how we never learn that this style of gameplay is not good for a first-person shooter, and this is where we are today. That's so funny. Like, just be aware of the trade. They say it shows how people have no idea what they're talking about. Aim training? Exactly. Guys, like unironically, right? Who do I play? Right? Unless we as a team force the builder, Bob the Builder meta too, we can't do anything. There's nothing we can do. And it's not, yeah, the Bob the Builder thing is great. That guy deserves a battle pass for it. But man, the thing is, like, we can't even interact with the players yet. This is the problem with these abilities. It discourages the concept of a shooter. It's just like, why are you interacting with the players? You should interact with the robots. Bro. This is where the PVE money went into. You know why they canceled the replay? Like the replayability is in here. It's in PvP now. This is the update that they were talking about. This is where we are at. Just destroy all the turrets. Bro, there's a silver support player out there that's like, yeah, that's balanced. Just destroy the turrets. I need an extra 5 seconds to aim and kill you. Please. It's so funny that this is the state of the game. So can we objectively say that us as a team, look at that, we're playing some decently high skill heroes, right? We're playing Genji, Doom, and Ana. And they just get negated. Why? Because the freaking AI exists. Oh, you didn't destroy the turret. Oh, you didn't destroy the pylon. You didn't destroy Vitality Field. Oh yeah, but here's the next pylon. Okay, but here's the next turret. Oh, here's the next Vitality Field. Bro, we spent the entire game shooting turrets. This is Overwatch. Wait, look at this. Anytime we try to interact with them, we get punished. Why? Because we didn't. Look at this. Look at what my Bastion is shooting. My Bastion has to destroy the turrets first. Oh God. Bro, in my first game of the day, my point got proven. I mean, loyal support, this is pretty balanced in my opinion. I have something that can take the attention off of me. Divers have to take such high risk plays to be able to do anything. It's not even high risk. You're throwing. I just threw for doing my job. The Baptiste was in a position to be punished, right? He was out of position. He's off angling. He thinks he's a superhero. He is, but that's not the point, right? Right? And I try to go up to him and I try to interact with him. I'm like, okay, hi, you're out of position. I'm bursting you down. He's 1 HP. And he's like, oh, it's fine. Immortality Field. and then he just moves into the line of sight of the pylon. Okay, look at this pylon placement, right? Okay, to all my silver players in that previous video's comment section, right? What am I supposed to do? I was so you're saying just destroy the pylon. Okay, let me just walk in front of 5 people and then look at this thing. Yeah, but you can off angle. Okay, let me now walk into this angle and look at it, and then 5 people at the floor can just look at me and kill me or pressure me away from this spot. It's horrible game design. And then okay, I destroyed this turret. Okay, there's a torp turret sitting somewhere here. Okay, there's an immortality field now sitting here. We haven't even made a push. We have not made a push. This is the state of Masters in GM. We cannot play the game. Because if you don't pick Bob the Builder, you can't play the game. I actually watching it back is so much more funny because I didn't know the the cooldown, like cycling between all the 3 builders that they had is that perfect, right? Is the cycling of the cooldowns is so good that if you destroy one of them, the next one just comes up. You destroy that one, the next one comes up. And when you finally destroy the 3rd one, well, Pylon is back again. Turn is back again. Baptiste is back again. So, what are we supposed to do? I would like to be enlightened. Get an aimbot? Ain't no way, bro. They got 8 players. Can I get an aimbot for builders? It doesn't matter. Look, guys, it doesn't matter. You know why? Because they are fundamentally 8 players. And those buildables are doing something too. That's the frustrating part, right? Like the pylon is also healing with the Iliari. The turret is also shooting with the Torb. Meanwhile, Iliari will 2-shot you in less than a second. Yeah, exactly. Eric, if I took the off angle to shoot at the turret, right? I die. Because the support killed me. I take an off angle to try and destroy her turret, and she's like, no. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for trying to play the game. I'm so sorry. I'm very apologetic. I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry for playing my role. I'm sorry for even attempting to play my role. The turret is so much value. It is. You cannot make this shit up. Bro, you know, like when I woke up today and I saw the comments and the video blew up, I was like, oh, great. Money. I'm kidding. I didn't actually say that. That is my birthday. I ain't complaining. Look, I'm going to keep it real. Times are tough. But that aside, right? Jokes aside and everything. I saw a lot of people. They were like, "Yeah, but what do you do this? What do you do about that? Supports will become useless." And I'm like, you know what? They might have a point. I played one round with the game, and I'm like, "Fuck their points." I'm sorry for the language. I was like, "Nah, this cannot stay. Something's gotta change. We cannot have this." How, guys? I don't know if you guys know this, right? Valorant is getting a movie before Overwatch. Valorant is, yeah, exactly. It's getting a movie before Overwatch. What? It came out after Overwatch, and because they stuck true to being a competitive game, and they didn't like go around being like, yeah, they had some weird patches here. They're not denying it. Like Valve's problems are a bit different, right? But they maintained competitive integrity, and that's how you keep people around when competitive integrity is maintained. We don't have that in Overwatch. Because the idea of playing a competitive game is you this is even worse than 500 HP life fever. Oh no, that's a different problem. Like I'm talking about buildables right now. Let's play another game. I'm talking about buildables right now, right? And the hold on, actually, I'll play tank, and I'll talk about another point, right? I'm gonna just lock Orisa, and if I have the right supports, I will just never die, right? Unless my supports like actively trolling, because I don't know. Again, this account is side account. I've not played in a while. I know in Overwatch 1 it was top 500, so we did get a top 500 last game. They had a top 500 player on their team, so it does it like whatever, like that aside, like it doesn't matter because like we're not interacting with the players, and if we don't mirror that, we lose. Okay, now that we have like a decent amount of people, right? I do want to eventually sit down and talk about like the main points about healing and blah blah blah. So essentially, it's like there's too many sources in the game now where you know uh there's like, okay, for example, like when I talk about healing, right, you have to also consider like I'm talking about interactions with other characters that also bring in sustain based abilities that make it like fundamentally frustrating to play against. It isn't like I'm not isolating the problem to healing, but it is a part of that problem. Oh my god, do I throw with Doomfist or do I go Orisa? I want to play Reinhardt, but if I play Reinhardt and they come out on anything that like Orisa or Bastion, like I'm screwed. Should we lock Doom, Gina? Do we lock Doom here? Do we troll for a little bit?
Yes.
Oh yeah, we're gonna
Yes, yes,
troll.
do
We're
it.
going to play. Oh, I don't have my settings, man.
Maybe one day we'll go
Wait,
on missions in Hawaii.
Uh,
this is Shift and this is E. There we go. Okay. Yeah. So look at this. We got a pretty fair comp, right? We got a fairly, honest comp. We got some honest Overwatch here. We got Cassidy, Genji, Ana, Doomfist. Other support will probably like goes Kiriko. So there you go. Lots of healing, immortality. Like we got it now, right? We got the. Hi, you wanna fly here? Yeah, I'm coming. Okay. Now the thing is, like, hypothetically, if the enemy sees that I'm on Doom, they can just go Orisa and my entire. Oh, there, Bastion. There we go. There's the Bastion. There it is.
it's
There it
it's
is.
our bastion, Abhi.
Yeah. But the Bastion players have only started to happen because players are frustrated of hello, heal me, like playing against Orisa every game. So now they anticipate Orisa every game, and because they're anticipating Orisa every game, they're always going to be picking Bastion. We have to constantly play a line of sight. If we don't play line of sight, we lose. There we go. I kind of want to go for a bit of an aggressive gameplay. Oh, I cannot. I mean, I can. I
Without
mean, they have
me?
Iliari, they have Iliari pylon. Oh, I got an achievement! Guys, we got an achievement! Oh, that was a great engage. We punched 3 people into the wall. See, that type of stuff is cool, right? I got rewarded, I got punished. It is what it is. I'm deep in their backline. Like that type of stuff is fine, right? That type of interaction is fine. I looked away for 1 second. The cat was in between my legs. I thought I made the jump. I thought I made the jump. Oh my god, I'm actually a goal player. Oh my god, we're losing because of me. Oh my god, I'm so garbage.
Stop throwing, Abhi.
Yeah, I should stop throwing. I'm unironically garbage. Oh my god, the 100 ping. Okay, okay, joke's over, joke's over. See you, Stan. I've seen so much more Orisa that she's still spearing me in my dreams. I would recommend a psychologist. I would recommend a psychologist. I'm just saying, like, if it's
Come
that
on,
bad.
man.
But if it's that
After
bad,
you're dealing with so many Orisa, don't say, I need, I think that you need Silicon. Oh, just too honest.
I'm
You've
feeling.
been so frustrated over the whole Orisa thing.
Well, I hope she gets nerfed tonight. Wait a minute. This is a
Oh,
very.
there it is. And
What is? Who said? What did they say? Oh, what is this guy doing? What is this guy doing? And what is my Cassidy doing? There's some
you know how
tomfoolery
it
in this
is. You
elo.
go tank, the DPS are trolling.
It's fine. I don't mind. It's not my main. I'm just vibing here. Oh my god, look at these Doomfist gameplay. What a fun tank. Much better than playing Ursa and standing in one spot menacingly. Bastion and Leari, good luck facing that. Thankfully, they swapped off a Bastion. Dude, the guy wanted to have a respectful game. He's like, oh, they're not playing Orisa. I will go Hanzo. I want to have fun. They're like, oh, they're not playing that broken shit. Okay, I won't either. I respect the commitment. I need to get healed here, like, really quickly. Oh my god, my Ana is out of position. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh boy, this is gonna hurt. Oh, we gotta back out. We lost that fight. Wait, it's kind of winnable though. We're 2-2, I think. I think. I can actually kind of do something here. Hold on. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm very sorry. Oh my god, the Doom is so low.
Come on.
The Doom is so low. The Doom is so low. Yes. Oh my god, Doom diff. Oh my god, that rollout. Wait. Oh no, I couldn't secure the kill. I don't do enough damage. God damn it. That was the coolest rollout. Oh my god. I'm so bad at this game.
Nice.
They picked Monkey into... They picked Monkey into Doom.
Oh, that was good.
Oh my god, the freaking wall got in the way. Okay, okay, it's fine. I got another meteor strike, it's fine. Oh, we got Brig. Why? That's so interesting. We refuse to high noon for some reason. Okay, I can follow up Kiriko's ult here. Let's go. Oh my god, I wanted to boop 3 off the map if I could. I think I did. I booped off Soldier, I think. Oh, I did. I booped Soldier off the map. Oh my god, please. Holy shish. This is a Doomfist game. Nice. We have 20 Overwatch short, which could make a movie combined. Yeah, you're not wrong, but they also have a handful of shorts. Like, I believe Val, League, but they're getting more. Because the thing is, the money that they make is from, like, even though, like, you could argue that the skins are really expensive, the thing is, people are still buying it because they have good faith in the game. Like, they agree with their game. Can we please give me resources here? I don't know why we're not pushing up. I actually really don't understand why we didn't push up. We have rally this whole time and we didn't push up. We just threw the game. My brick just threw the game. We rally without our tank. We give them all the space to walk in. We're all effective at close range and we don't want to be at close range. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, here we go. Here it comes. I gotta be really careful with this punch. staying alive is more important than making plays sometimes. Nice. Okay, we go next. Okay, after this, we'll talk about a lot of the controversial comments, yeah? Because somebody also asked, like, as a 700-hour Kiriko main, I'd love to hear what changes you'd make to keep your identity. Well, see, like, I'm not trying to strip supports from their identity. I'm talking about a power shift that Blizzard got wrong, right? Like, the idea was support players were complaining in Season 2 that, well, we cannot deal with the flankers. We cannot deal with Doom, Winston, Diva in our ass, right? We cannot deal with Genji and Tracer and Sombra in our back. So it's fine. Like, okay, valid argument, even though you could argue that supports are the players that are not used to playing without a second tank. They've gotten a bit too accustomed to relying on people holding their hand. Let's just say that, right? So it's fine. We will change up some things, right? And then they did. Except the approach was extremely bad because they were like, okay, well, what if we bring back CC to supports? What if we gave them more damage? Okay, what if we increase the healing? What if we make half the DPS roster clunky? Okay, and once you kind of put all of that together, we end up in the state of the game now where DPS just feels unrewarding to play. And and tank feels like a puppet for supports, and supports just they can do whatever they want. Like we're playing Kiriko Brig. Like this is awkward for our team, right? But it's working because the error is not that bad for supports, right? But if the enemy is playing Fire Mercy, oh here they go, they want to win. They're Bastion and Torb. Oh my god, what is this? It's in every game. What is this? Should we go Orisa or should we have some honor?
Go Orisa.
No, no, no. I have respect for myself.
Okay, Gabi.
Unless I get frustrated. Then you bet your ass I'm going Orisa. Look at that, I'm landing so many big punches, I already have my ult. We can make a big play here in a moment. I kind of want to fly into the back and then punch. I might have messed that one up. But I think my team can walk in. It doesn't die. I unloaded 5 clips. It doesn't die. The turret doesn't die. I couldn't have played that any better. My movement was so good. Look at my damage. I have the highest damage on the team. And I'm playing Doom. But my DPS, they're not mirroring Winston and Bap. Like, sorry, Bastion and Thor. Why did I say Winston and Bap? Oh my god, I'm throwing. Oh my god, I'm hard throwing. Okay, it's fine, because they Suzu'd me. Do I have to do everything? I have to get a 5k to win this game. Or potentially more. Oh my god, how are we struggling? Oh my god, that healing, man. The Bastion dies right there, and the healing pylon was up with the Yari and Ana right next to him. We lose off of that now. I made a lot of space. I have so much damage. I don't understand how we're struggling. We can push in with rally now. We really need to rally and go. Okay, we throw Bob. Here comes our buildable now. If I don't destroy this, we lose. Okay. Oh, hello, C9. We have my ult for next fight. We should have known something was bad when supports were complaining about not being able to carry. I don't
Yeah,
mind.
this is right. This is right. Yeah,
I
carry
don't.
games.
Yeah, I don't mind support quote unquote carrying games. It's the direction of where they carry from. Do we all agree on the point that I'm making, right? It's not about support shouldn't be allowed to do their job. It's not that. It's why are they hybrids of all the roles put together, right? Like they can do damage, they can be soft tanks, they can do this, they can do that.
Yeah.
Like why does support get this treatment? You know? And that's where you realize like they're just holding the hands of these players. No? Okay. Man, I want to boop the Bastion
Oh,
player
but
off.
it's
I
so
want to
game.
I want to boop the Bastion player off the map so bad out of spite. Like just for the hatred I have of the character this season. I want to boop him off the map so bad. I at least respect that they didn't go Orisa. Otherwise my Doomfist pick is useless. Nice awareness, bro. Never mind. He got his revenge. He got his revenge. He was like, what did you say? Oh god. Alright, let's just win this. You know, it'd be so funny if I unironically win this by C9ing it. What? It's wall climbing and he can't do anything. Come on, we can kill him. Yes! We can make a big push. Oh, our Brig has to play super careful. That comp is not good for her. They have Earth Shatter, I think. I can maybe punch him out of Shatter. Yeah, why is our Brig constantly doing that? Like, why? Like, I said, this is the problem with support players. They think they're meant to do everything. And they want their role to do everything. And then they play it that way. Like, of course, like, going up against 3 players with
I feel personally attacked.
Don't do that. Fine. Why does Kiriko want to play the long route? Us playing the wrong route is throwing. I'm just stalling for time. Like I have ult, I can make my plays if I want to. We lose. Just I can't do more than this. Like my DPS need to wake up. We rally at the last second of the game. Hey, all the turns, all the turns. This 14k damage. And you can't win. Because we just don't mirror the Bastion, the Torb. There's nothing we can do. We need more players in our team. 14k damage isn't enough. And on Doomfist of all heroes. On Doomfist of all heroes, by the way. 14k damage on Doomfist. When have you seen that? And it's not enough. That's so funny. Okay. Okay, let's talk. Now we're gonna talk and then we'll play later. Because we're gonna have a big stream. It's a birthday stream, but we do want to talk about the points. We got enough people in chat. We're 1 hour in. Let's start talking, right? So support is ill-defined as a role. That's why there's so much heat over what support should and shouldn't be able to do, as well as tank and DPS. It's wait, what? With tank and DPS in its name. So here's the problem, right? It's like when you start giving too many support. Like, look, I opened my video with a comment that Lucio, Mercy, and Zen should be the baseline, right? Why? Lucio is an AoE healer that has low damage. His power is in speed boost, and he has sound barrier defensive ultimate, right? And his viability relies on Reinhardt most of the time, right? He can be played in some other comps too. I'm not saying he cannot. Ram Rush is also good. Ryan Rush is good. Sometimes, well, no, most of the time you did play him in dive. But honestly, Lucio's become so irrelevant, right? Like, he's become so irrelevant right now that, like, why would you want what Lucio does when Brigida can do everything he does, but like a million times better, right? And that's where the problem begins. Is the next characters just do everything better. Iliari has Mercy on a turret. She's a pocket. The turret is a pocket. It can pocket somebody, and it never misses. It never detaches unless it has to change targets. And once you put that together, like for example, right, you have high healing. Most of the supports do high healing, right? At this point, the only supports that do quote unquote low healing is pretty much Lucio, Zen, and Mercy, right? Arguably, Mercy is in the middle, but Lucio and Zen are the only ones that, if you really want to go that route, are the only ones that do low healing, right? You then combine that with things like Ramatra's block, 90% damage reduction, Orisa Fortify, Reinhardt's shield. When these interactions all start to come together, it makes this like, oh crap, I can't punish anything, right? Tank players then begin to feel like, okay, I can't make space because at any point I try to make space, I just die, right? Although my argument is tank, like this is also a result of tanks being unable to actually play the game from that perspective that they feel like they can make a difference. Why? Because at any point a tank tries to make a play, anything that they do, you can just kite as a team. So kiting means like pulling away, or the supports will immediately negate that effect by tossing an anti, immortality field, Suzu, life pull to pull away a target that you could have punished, etc., etc. So once we start to put all these pieces together, tank begins to feel unfun. Tank isn't unfun because tanks can't like play the game. It's unfun because no matter what they do, unless the key components on the enemy team has fallen apart, they can't do anything, right? Like over there at the end where I played Doom, like I didn't delete the Torb turret or the Iliari turret. I can't do that, right? Especially in the last fight, like I have to try and make a play and kill some things, right? It doesn't matter because the passive ability that they bring wins them the game anyway, right? It just wins them the game anyway. And that is when it's like we're taking away more and more agency from a player and putting it more in these abilities to do it for you. Like, oh, team fight's not going your way, you don't have your cooldowns, you can't heal them. Okay, immortality field, right? Or Iliari's healing thing, he just does it for you. The list goes on, right? The list essentially goes on. If you guys want to add on some points or have some questions, go for it. I do want to talk about some of the comments that we saw over on the video right now. So we're going to open up the video and we're going to talk about some of the things that we see over there, right? So just bear with me for a second. Let me just bring the comments up, right? Also, you guys are going to have to tell me if you can see the screen. Can you guys see the screen? You guys can see the screen right now, right? You just like double check that with me and make sure it's working. And we're going to check notifications real quick because we have a lot of support players that are like, well, what would you do, right? So we're going to talk about that. I think we have the screen. Okay, thanks, Ibuju. Okay, Ibuju. I think I said that right. So as a Kiriko man and things like that, like he's saying about how easy it is to heal without giving solution. I get the point, but someone always this clicker. Yeah, and so here's the thing, right? What I mean is that for a support to put in their input to get the value that they do, it's minimal compared to the other role. For example, like, okay, like with a majority of the main healers, right? Like you just look in the general direction of somebody, you hold left click, you win, right? You get your value. Okay, now you compare to what value means to Doomfist, what value might mean to Junker Queen, to, well, I'm not going to talk about Orisa, Ram, Reinhardt, right? It's a lot about timing and doing things the right way. The same thing applies to damage as well, right? Like Genji has to find the right target, Ashe has to line up her headshots, which can again get negated very quickly by supports. So supports do have that end of the stick where it's easy for them to negate value that can be brought from tank and damage, right? That's where the problem starts, is that it's easier for them to negate value. So fine, whatever. Like from a raw healing perspective, okay, they negated the value. Fine, whatever, right? But then you think about the fact that, well, Torbjorn can overload, make an ice block. They have ways to stay alive, right? Reaper can life steal, right? Symmetra now, for some strange reason, they gave Symmetra this change where she can now steal life off of like steal life from the shields themselves. Like if she's like shooting at a shield, like a barrier, like Reinhardt's barrier or Winston's barrier, she can life steal from it, which again just goes down that route of things staying alive more than things dying, right? And essentially it comes back to this same problem, right? I think that Orisa is the most support because they play like Brick Shield Bam. Yeah, exactly. It's like a support base. Yo, Leon, what's up? I think the most fair are the ones that are most proactive. Exactly. So one of the things that even ML7 talked about is a lot of support players, what they are tired about is being reactive, right? They can't make their own plays. That is what we were trying to communicate back in season 2, that hey, Blizzard, we don't want to be reactive, we want to be proactive. Look at Lucio and Zenyatta, right? These are, I consider them healthy. Mercy I consider healthy too, but from a different perspective, right? Lucio and Zenyatta are both proactive supports that reward you for making a play, but their reactive plays come in sound barrier and transcendence. Now, how? The idea is that, well, they're very strong ultimates. Keyword here is ultimate, right? It's not an ultimate on an ability. Like, for example, Suzu, an argument could be made. Baptista's E, an argument could be made. It's not a third player like Iliari's like healing pylon, right? Or Life Weaver literally turning everybody into a tank, right? With the Tree of Life now. So Lucian Zenyatta, they must use those ultimates to counter other ultimates, or they could also sometimes use those ultimates to make a play, like pushing in with your tank and your team. Sometimes, not all the time, like if the situation calls for it, you can do that. That is healthy design. It keeps them into a good bubble. There's a skill ceiling, there's a skill floor, there's a way to enter the character. By the way, skill doesn't necessarily mean how I aim and do something, right? Yes, it's like, for example, Lucio's healing is easier to do. Zenyatta's healing is easier to do. Fine, whatever, right? But the actual value that comes from the character isn't in the healing. The problem in the design for the new characters, with especially like look at Life Weaver, they've made Life Weaver's entire identity heal or lose, heal or lose, and there's no in between, right? Like his damage is garbage anyway, and his ultimate is I heal even more, and if you are full HP, you turn into a tank, right? Is that good game design? No, of course it's not. Okay, let's look at Kiriko, right? Kiriko is an interesting one because she was advertised as the DPS support, kind of like Iliari, right? Except when she came out, when people played her, it turns out that she's the best heal bot in the game, right? With Suzu combined with her left click, it's just amazing. My only change for Kiriko, because I again, there's a lot going on with Suzu, right? From Kiriko's perspective, the healing being high or whatever, because the papers have to connect one by one, sure, fine, you can have that, right? Suzu, the burst healing on Suzu could go down a little bit, right? It can have the main point of Suzu was we needed a support that could remove negative effects. Let that be the defining trait. Let it have healing, or let it have higher healing, but take away the immortality part. Nobody enjoys that. It is extremely unfun to play against, right? But the developers doubled down. They were like, no, we're not going to remove the immortality part in Suzu. But that's not fun though. Like imagine Ana and Genji invested Nanoblade. They fly towards an enemy team. Genji getting that first slash combo, it's crucial. And again, bear in mind, these are two ultimates that are being comboed. Kiriko presses Suzu. The Genji can't get the dash and slash combo off. Everybody kited him, and now he's just staring at them. And there you go. What? That's so much value on an ability. And then the worst part is, okay, the Genji resets, and now you're like, fine, let's engage with Graviton Surge. You walk in with Zarya, okay, she looks for an opportunity, she Graviton Surges, and guess what? They got another Suzu. So you're like, okay, fine, let's now engage with Riptire or Dragon Strike or Tack Visor, and they got Suzu again for the next team fight or for that situation, right? Obviously, you don't want to burn all your ults at once because your ult economy gets screwed and the enemy wins off of that concept alone, right? So that's the point, is like these abilities are too strong. Fine, you want to make them easy to heal people? Okay, fine. But you have to reduce the power somewhere. Okay, well, like look at Kiriko. She has Suzu, which is very strong. She has really good burst damage, really strong. And then she has high healing, very strong. So what's her weakness? Okay, but you can dive Kiriko. Yeah, but like she can keep herself immortal. She can wall climb, and she can teleport across the map, which allows her to make some ridiculous plays now where you can flank and kill one or two and then escape. And she's a better flanker than Genji and Tracer now. People are playing Kiriko like Genji and Tracer for the flank play style and things like that, right? And that's where it's like, well, she's become the hybrid, you know? I love playing Kiriko, man. I hate seeing how people play her flanking style. Exactly. And that's a byproduct of what Blizzard has allowed to happen. Guys, what is Iliari promoted as, right? She's the sniper support. She just drops the healing, right? It's like she's Widowmaker, but instead of Venom Mind, it's a healing bot that's a Mercy Pocket. And then she stays with her. She goes off and does her own thing. She can flank. She can delete a few people and then comes back to her team. And if she gets contested, not only can she fly away, but she could also boop the target that contested her. Why does it have two things? This is what I mean. The kits have become overloaded. So we need to take power away from somewhere where it's like, okay, you can play this character, you can heal people, but we will take power away from something. So where do you take the power away from? Hold on a second. So the question becomes is, where do you take the power away from, right? And essentially, it's like you have to decide, do you strip supports of damage or do you strip supports of healing, right? Where do you strip the power from supports? And in my personal opinion, let tanks have agency in their kit, okay? Let them survive off of their abilities, reduce the healing in the game. Why am I saying this? Supports, if you look at the playstyle of any support, somebody said a really good comment, I don't know if it was here or in the video, they said every support just wants to be a DPS, but they don't want to play DPS or tank. And I saw that comment and I was like, wait, this guy actually hit the nail. He actually hit the nail in the coffin. Like, look at how every Moira plays, right? All these Moira TikToks, what are they promoting? Guys, they made a highlight intro after DPS Moira. This is literally based on DPS Moira. Every support wants to be that, but what's the problem with support players? They actually have to learn how to play the game and get better at shooting if they want to do that. So why is Moira popular on TikTok and shit like that? Because you can just look at a target and hold right click. Look at a target and hold right click. Is that same group of support players playing characters like Iliari and maybe Kiriko in that aggressive way? No, because they can't, because it would require them to actually learn how to do the shooty part, and they don't want to learn. They want a shortcut. So this is a shortcut, right? And when Iliari came out, people were like that group of players, like the bad group of players that argued that no, it's fine. When Iliari came out, they were like, oh sweet, I can't wait to play this DPS support, right? And then they played her and they realized you actually have to aim with her to get value. And then they were like, yeah, I don't like Iliari all of a sudden. Well, why don't you like Iliari? Well, I don't like Iliari because I actually have to aim on the character. So that's legitimately what it is. You know? Elijah says, I came at the right time. Yeah, welcome, Elijah. I was letting everybody get in before I do the whole thing, right? So Iliari, like, she's strong enough as it is. I would say maybe the pylon could either see a little bit more of a healing decrease, or I think we can leave pylon as is, or we shift the way Iliari works. For example, we reduce the healing on pylon and we leave it as is, and we put more power in her right click, like her ability to heal somebody with her own this thing. Like, this is what I don't understand, right? Why does Blizzard try to take away player agency, especially for supports, right? Let me prove my point, right? Why is this part of Iliari's kit, this one, this runs out so quickly? Why is this the problem? And why is this not the one that gets like a cooldown, or like it runs out after 10 seconds, so you must put it up every 10 seconds? Like, okay, 10 seconds later, it ran out, I put up a new one, right? So it keeps the support player active, right? That they must keep doing it. They did the same thing with Zenyatta, right? To balance Discord Ord. Like, if somebody LOSs you, the Discord Ord just goes away, right? So Zenyatta has to be a lot more active. And it was a good nerf. They dealt with the problem without dealing with the problem, right? They didn't change Discord. They just made it so that, like, the barrier for Discord, for a bad Discord placement, there's a higher level of error for it, right? And that's what happens. Welcome back, Gina. And that's what they did with Discord Orb, right? They could do the same to Iliari. You make the hero clunky, right? You make the hero a little bit more clunky. And people will be like, well, making a hero more clunky is not fun. Yeah, but that's what they did to the entirety of the DPS roster, with some exceptions here and there. They made more than half of them clunky, right? Because that way supports can interact with DPS and tank better. Even like Doomfist. Like, Doomfist is the most clunky tank in the game right now, right? Like, he's bug filled. They refuse to fix his bugs and things like that. And what can you do, right? And that's where you start. It's like, okay, we can try to deal with the problem without dealing with the problem. So how do I deal with Ana, right? Ana's strength is obviously in sleep and nade. Fine, we can keep sleep the way it is, but what we could do is, instead of this anti-ing people and shutting down healing altogether, which is an unfun mechanic, because if you don't have a Kiriko, what are you going to do about it? you could make it so that the person that got antied, the healing for them is reduced by 90% or 80%. And you experiment with that and see how it goes. Because, for example, right, if you are playing somebody like, let's say, Roadhog, right? You play Roadhog, you turn the corner, you get antied. What the hell are you gonna do? You better turn back. You turn that corner and go sit and wait. You can't play Roadhog anymore. You just can't play. And if you turn it again, you get sleep darted, and then you get antied, and then they delete you, and now you must swap and play something. Okay, you go and you go Junker Queen. The same fate waits for you on Junker Queen, right? So how do we make it more fun for tank, right? Because people keep saying, well, tank is the biggest, like tank. It's because of damage, right? Guys, there is more damage in support than there is in the damage role, with the exception of BAP and Torb, which we hope to God that they get adjusted tonight, right? We hope to God that BAP and Torb and Orisa get their nerfs tonight, along with maybe some support changes, right? There's more damage from Ana, Baptiste, Iliari, Kiriko, Moira, Zen, Brigitte, if she's smart with her positioning. These characters do more than the DPSs can do. Why? Because they can do it safely. They have options for themselves that, oh, this didn't go my way. Like, for example, I'm Brig. I engage a target and it's not going well. It's not going well. I'm going to lose the duel. Okay, I'll just boop the target away and turn a corner. And at the same time, I'm healing myself because Inspire just came online. Do you see how, like, in comparison to, for example, like, if I play somebody like Cassidy, right? I play Cassidy, I turn this corner, I shoot, the person gets healed, they're firing back at me. I don't have, like, a way to heal myself. I got this roll. Okay, I roll away, but it doesn't matter. Why? Because the Iliari just sniped me. It doesn't matter why, because the Ana just sniped me. It doesn't matter because their tank walked up to me and I can't do anything about it because he's not dying. It doesn't matter how much damage I do, right? But a support has the kit to deal with that, right? As for example, if you're playing BAP and a tank walks up to you, right? You're just like, oh, a tank walked up to me. All right, see ya. You just, all right, see ya, and you leave. All right, see ya. You leave, right? And you can survive. Most DPSs cannot survive a tank engagement like that. They must overcommit. You know, people can say that, well, yeah, the flankers can run away. Yeah, but you're not playing flankers in this case, right? Like Baptiste, where is his weakness? Unless you bombard him, like, he has infinite mobility. Great idea, by the way, Blizzard. Right? He has infinite mobility to keep doing this, right? For example, let me give you a thing, right? You're Baptiste, you're playing high ground, right? They pick dive. Here comes Winston or Doomfist, right? You're like, oh shit, here comes Winston. You LOS Winston, you drop down. Winston's up there. Winston's like, oh, I gotta chase BAP, he's low. First of all, you shift so you get your HP back. Winston comes down here, and you just immediately go back up here, and now the Winston has no jump. Now the Winston comes back up here, you go back down here, the Winston's being made a mockery of. The Doomfist is being made a mockery of, and you can just keep damaging them while you're doing all of this, right? The strength is crazy. The strength of like, why can we not say the same for damage or something, right? Because the utility that they bring isn't as powerful. For example, like, okay, even if BAP doesn't do all of that, it doesn't matter because there you go. Survive the engagement. Survive the engagement. Just, okay, I healed myself for 100 healing. Survive the engagement. Oh, all of that is gone? Well, I can just keep jumping. I can just cycling high grounds. I can keep cycling high grounds. I just never die. If you're playing Kiriko, right? And you get contested with Kiriko, you Suzu right away. And then you're like, oh, I'm getting contested, what do I do? And just escape. It's an overbuffed Guardian Angel, right? And here's the funny thing. Mercy's Guardian Angel is at least fair in the sense that you can interact with Mercy as a character. When Kiriko teleports, you can't interact with her. She disappears. And again, you try contesting Kiriko, she just runs away. Also, by the way, Kiriko has the tiniest hitbox of supports. This skin kind of like doesn't really prove my point, but on her other skins, or if you play the damn game, she has a tiny hitbox. Right? And the only other character that has a tiny hitbox is Tracer, but it makes sense because of like how easy it is to kill Tracer, right? Like how easy it can be to kill Tracer. So she needs the tiny hitbox to be able to do her job. But if you give a character this much survivability in terms of Kiriko, what? Where's the punishment? Oh, I dived her. Okay, well, I teleport to a teammate. Look, from that range, wow. Okay, well, they commit to this jump. Okay, well, I Suzu and we outduel you. Because it took us only 2 cooldowns, and it took you so many cooldowns to make that engagement. And you deserve to lose that fight. Why? Because, well, you played the game and we decided that we'd react. And that's one of the things that support has become too good at. They're really good at just reacting and shutting down plays, right? Too good at reacting and shutting down plays, and that's the problem with the role. Sorry guys, I've not been reading comments. I'm gonna read them one by one now. Discord nerf was bad. It just made Zen curry, didn't make Orb valuable. Yeah, exactly. But Zenyatta. Here's the funny thing: in the current meta with Bastion, Torb, and Ursa, Zenyatta, from a hypothetical perspective of being a poke support with Discord, and back then when Ursa was meta in season 2, I think, or season 3, Zenyatta was good against Ursa. So what changed, right? Like, you always keep the Ursa in line of sight anyway. The thing is, they made it clunkier, right? I'm not saying that was the right solution, and I'm not saying that it was good. It was a way around it, right? It didn't solve the Discord problem, but it deals with it without breaking the flow of the character too much, right? Because that's all they can do. I can suggest extremes, right? I can say that, no, make Discord like this and put power in his damage, right? Like, because then the argument becomes that, well, if the Zenyatta player does the damage, he gets rewarded for it, which is a better alternative than just putting Orb on somebody and letting everybody else do the work and getting max value, right? That's a much better solution, right? But do you actually think Blizzard's going to do that? No. They cannot fathom that they have to put more, like, support players need to actually play make when they can just react and shut down plays, right? The line of sight nerf makes sense, but the range problem is, wait, what? Range problem is leaving Discord on time is the problem? Yeah, I know, I'm not denying it. I'm not denying it. I'm not denying it at all. I fully agree. But the idea behind the solution in the developer comment, I could at least be like on 50-50 that I understand it's a good temporary solution, but it doesn't solve the problem. It's good enough, you know? Like, it's enough to the point where it's like Zen isn't meta right now, right? And okay, even hypothetically, right? Even if Zenyatta somehow came back in the meta, if flankers could actually flank and play the game, they could deal with Zen. Zenyatta is free right now because he's just uncontested. If you play Tracer or Genji into Zen, the Zen has more pressure on you than you have pressure on Zen. Because that's how good Zen players have gotten now. By the way, does Zen still have 225 HP? No, he has 200. Sorry, who am I thinking of that had 225? But like, he still has the kick that does 40 damage, by the way. Look at that, instant pressure, right? Tracer has to be up in his face, he has to be up in Tracer's face. And that kick, look at this range. The pressure is crazy, right? And that's without Discord Orb. So it's the Zen matchup is like 60-40. It's now in Zen's favor, by the way. It's now in Zen's favor. Half the flanker matchups, not the tank, not talking about tank. Half the flanker matchups are now in Zen's favor. Just because of the kick. Just because, remember when we had Overwatch 1? What did people say about Zen being strong? Well, it makes sense because you can contest him easily, right? Like, if you contest and dive him together, it's what made Zen like this really thrilling hero to play, that, oh, I must be really good with my positioning, and I can keep sniping people from the back and get free value, and I can reposition and do whatever I want, right? And now they're just like, yeah, well, here's this kick, and the kick is a unique one because it does 45 damage. Why does it do 45? What makes him special? Why does he need the 45? Oh, that's right. You want the DPS to feel pressured immediately. That's how it is. And with Discord, it does 56. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. Like, that's more than one chunk of Tracer's health gone. And this is implying that nobody's peeling for you and you're in a duel. You just keep kicking the Tracer if she's in your face. And Zen has the biggest projectile in the game. I believe Zenyatta, I think there was a Karq video. Zenyatta has the biggest projectile in the game. He is the most forgiving projectile in the game as well. With the size of it and everything. I think. I'm not sure. Or it's one of them, right? So, the Life Fever problem? 225. Oh yeah, 225 is Life Fever. Yeah, you're right. 225 is Life Fever, right? Kick was the most lifeless addition. No original identity has sense. Give him Lucifer. They did both. And you know what the worst part is? It has no cooldown. He can keep doing this. You know, like, guys, you must have played tank. And there's always that one unique Zen player that when you go up to him as a brawl tank, he just does this. He starts doing this. And you can't touch it. Especially if you can time it right with Zen against Reinhardt. When the Reinhardt is like a little bit in range and before the hammer connects, and I've done this because I got really good at it, right? If the Rein comes up before the hammer connects, you can kick him. It will boop him back to the point where the hammer doesn't interact with you. And then as the Rein walks up for the next swing, you can kick him again and then rinse and repeat the process. Is that not an unfair matchup? Like the Zen is in a position to be punished by Ryan, and the Zen says, "No, I don't. I don't deserve to be punished. I don't deserve to be punished." And again, we have to think about optimal scenario, right? Like, of course, you could say, well, Ryan can try fire striking and things like that, and yeah, he can, right? I'm not saying that. I'm just talking about like the absurdity and the cooldown commitments that other characters have to do against supports to get any value whatsoever, right? Happy birthday, thanks, Boot. Do you think it'd be better if Zen has 225 HP with no snap kick? I think it would be. I think 225 is a better alternative than just like letting this guy without cooldown do all of this. By the way, guys, one thing to clear up, right? I'm not against supports as a role. I have 500 hours in support, right? But even I've reached a point where I'm just like, where's the challenge in this role? Like, if at some point something goes wrong in a match, supports have an answer for everything now. Even for Fire Mercy, they got an answer now, right? Again, from a ladder perspective, from a casual perspective, they have an answer for everything, right? For heal botting, you have an answer. For aggressive playing, you have an answer, right? For overall control of the game, you have an answer, right? For pocketing, you have an answer. Enabling degenerate playstyles, you have an answer. So support has it all, and the rest of these characters have to play around them. That's the current game says that if you as a comp do not play around your supports, even though it should be the other way around, you lose. And that's one of the fundamental problems. And then you consider high healing. High healing, we're just like, oh, I should have punished this guy, I couldn't, whatever. I'll try to punish him again, and he uses Immortality Field. She uses Nade on herself. Ilyari heals herself with Pylon or jumps away. Kiriko heals herself with Suzu or jumps away. Life Weaver can legitimately just reposition and then jump away and heal himself. And also pull a teammate to him to help him peel. Where do Lucio, Zen, and Mercy, even though they're like Zen's problem is Discord, not Zen as a character, like is a different story, but Discord is a problem. Zen, Mercy, and Lucio cannot do that. If a Lucio escapes, it's because he's good at this. It's because he's good at his movement, right? If a Mercy escapes, even though it's very annoying, she's good at her movement, right? I really don't know how these Mercy players do it. I have massive respect for Mercy players. Okay, I have massive respect because they can do all this like super jumps and tags and they stay alive and their character's one-dimensional. So that's fine, right? It's okay because in that perspective, I consider it quote-unquote balanced, right? Because she's doing one thing at a time, right? She's not enabling more than that. But then you look at Ilyari, right? Not only can she now pocket somebody, she can also heal double with her pylon to do overall like 150, 160 healing per second, right? If you contest her, she can then jump away, reposition the pylon, and then start pumping damage into you. How did we go from this, and this to this, right? Granted that I actually find Ilyari really fun to play, right? But I find her fun to play because she's really strong, right? Like, I find her really fun to play because she's strong. And is that where Blizzard wants support to be? Is that support is only fun to play because it's the strongest role in the game? And if that is the argument, if that is what they think, I'm sorry, there's no escape. We are in line for giga buffs to tank and damage, and we will go back in time where the same problem repeated itself because Blizzard refuses to deal with the support role. The support role with the interactions with the rest of the roster is what makes it extremely unfun to play. Was it like this in Season 1? No. There was more agency for tank and damage. Was it like this in Season 2? No. Was it like this in Season 3? In Season 3, it felt like support got leveled out. And then they brought in Life Weaver. And then they brought in Ilyari. And then the buffs and nerfs that happened to support as a role. The buffs and nerfs that happened to tank and damage as a role. Damage heroes became more clunkier. And like, guys, even this change, right? Like, for example, like Hanzo. Hanzo was meta last patch. He was a really good pick. And this little change that they gave Hanzo completely killed him. He should be good in this meta too, right? Look at this. Before you could charge up a bow, climb the wall, and shoot a charged arrow. Now, and that was one of the best ways to play Hanzo, right? For like being able to get a cheeky pick. Now, when you do this, you must charge the bow again, and you lose your angle in that much time. And that change alone killed Hanzo. This little change, this change here, completely killed his viability in being able to make a difference in the game. Because looking down a choke and spamming damage towards a tank only for it to get healed is it's not how you make plays on Hanzo, right? Anybody who's like competent on Hanzo understands that you go for a little bit of a cheeky off angle, you shoot that support or whatever, and you like run away, or you get a pick on the DPS, and then you slowly start to help your tank walk up with your Storm Arrow, right? Like that's usually the way to engage with Hanzo, right? You can't do that anymore. You legitimately can't do that anymore. He got nerfed because cries were crying about one shots. I saw the forum cry, dude. I don't understand why, and we had this problem in Overwatch 1 as well. Why do you play a first-person shooter, but then you complain about the elements of a first-person shooter? The game then evolves into a MOBA. The game then sees its best content creators and everything start to fall off because they can't be bothered to play a game like this. They signed up to play a shooter, not to play a MOBA where like nothing dies or everything dies, and there's no carry potential in the playmaking roles of tank and DPS, and everything's decided by support. Wow, I think I'm getting sick. And we're back at square one. Then okay, we're in a Goats meta again because Goats played like this. Goats was all about high healing, high sustain, high damage. The catalyst was support, right? Because they tried to deal with the problem with Reaper, right? Reaper's a tank buster, right? Genji is somewhat of a tank buster, and Pharah as well, but there was no success. There was a comp that the Shanghai Dragons were playing with Wrecking Ball and Pharah that slowly started to work, right? Slowly started to work, right? But the season ended. So we can't even say if it could have been effective or not. And granted that they were playing only in the Asian region, so there was a small sample size of the best players. We didn't see it from an overall perspective, right? Regardless, though, and they also changed Hanzo's interaction. That for by the way, does anybody understand the logic behind this? Like, why can Hanzo not one-shot these targets anymore? And the only conclusion that I can come to, right, is it was specifically for interactions with tank. Because they are the ones with the bigger HP pools, so the overall damage reduction against squishies is not that much unless you play a 250 HP character. It's actually, against the tanks, it makes a bigger difference, right? It'll now take you one extra shot or two extra shots to kill a tank that's maybe being healed at the same time, right? Because obviously this situation here, where I just land these two shots to Orisa and she dies or whatever, right? This is not going to happen in the game. I land this one shot on the Orisa's head. Oh, here comes Ilari's healing power. Here comes anti-nade. Sorry, bio-nade to give her the 50% healing. Here comes Ilari's sunbeam. Here comes Anna's nades on her, and she's back to full HP. So I'm like, okay, well, now I need to burst her with Storm Arrow. Yeah, it doesn't matter because those things are still relevant, and Orisa can die. And she fortifies, and she spins, and she javelins. The cycle repeats itself. So we understand that the problem is when you put all these things together, that it begins to create this extremely oppressive meta. And the solution is, okay, it's either you gutter tanks. This is where we pick our poison, right? It's either you gutter tanks, and you make their tanking abilities horrible, which they kind of are at the moment, but not that much. Or you reduce the healing and you reduce the healing, you emphasize to the support community as a whole that, hey, we're reducing healing because blah, 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 blah. And we want supports to have a little bit more agency in their playstyles. So with less focus on healing, you guys can go and now kind of do this thing. Because a lot of these, Xavier Ludwig, thank you for subscribing. It means a lot, man. And new player in the metal rank, and all I can confirm they do is complaints of getting better. Exactly. That's all they do. That's all they do. And you know what the funny thing is? Again, the guy that left this comment, I don't know who it was. He was the legend, right? He really put a good perspective for the casual player, where the casual player that plays support wants to play support as damage. He doesn't want to play support. And Iliari is a perfect example. They understood this, right? Because now that casual player can pick Iliari, right? And his team's like, we need a healer. You're like, okay, I'll heal you. And I'm going to go and do my own thing, right? Because like, what is happening with Moira, right? If you look at Moira as well from a design perspective, she's flawed because in your average metal rank games, your Moiras are just like, I'm in the back line. I'm in the back line, guys. Get ready. I'm pushing, guys. I'm pushing. And that's what's happening in metal rank games. Like, that's the state of mind. So if we can understand, even from the TikTok clips, if you open TikTok clips, you legitimately just see Battle Mercy clips just going around shooting people down. So, okay. So if we can understand the general reception on support, even when they were marketing Kiriko, right? They marketed Kiriko as the DPS support, and then we got a DPS support with Iliari too, right? If we understand that we want to put agency in support in doing damage, okay, excellent. We can have that, right? But when we give those characters the ability to be good at doing damage, we can also not give them the ability to have extremely high heals. Because where is the weakness of that character? For example, right? Zenyatta is good at damage, right? Zenyatta is one of the old designs, right? He promotes this, right? He promotes the I do high damage, but my trade-off is I heal very little, right? Therefore, creating a bit of a balanced character, right? Again, we don't talk about Discord Orb. Discord Orb is a completely different problem that I will do a video on separately because we need to talk about a lot of things for Discord Orb, right? But from the overall gameplay perspective of shooty, right? Zenyatta has a trade-off. Okay, where is Iliari's trade-off? I'm doing damage and I got high heals. And I can do this. And I can keep pumping and healing. Right? Where's the trade-off? What did you give away to be good at healing and doing damage at the same time? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Moira is basically a soft form of this. Like, she's not that extreme, but she's a soft form of this. Like, look, I will heal my team and now do damage. Right? Or I will now do damage and heal my team. Right? Or any combination. And her ultimate is literally, I can heal my team. Hold on. What's this? I can heal my team and damage the enemy at the same time. Right? This design was there in Overwatch 1 softly, and because there's no trade-off, essentially an argument can be made is that the margin for error in support is practically non-existent. They cannot make a mistake when they play their role. Because an argument could be made, well, if the support player was playing aggressive and you played aggressive with them, you could find more value. Right? Which in that sense, you could be like, yeah, you're correct. You could play aggressive with support and find value. Right? But is there a trade-off? No. Because then if things are going wrong, well, she just does this and she does this. And that's like 20, 30 healing per second. And this healing does like, I think, 75 to 90 to 80, something like that. Like, and it's a heal over time, right? So it's so quick. It's so quick, right? Look at this like animation change for Mercy, right? It's so slow. There's like a full second of delay. And then like these projectiles, well, it's a projectile that like is spread out, right? So she actually has to land these, right? Zenyatta also has to land his projectiles. Lucio also has to land his projectiles. Again, Lucio's trade-off is, yes, he can heal and he can damage at the same time, but his healing is low. And it's AoE healing, right? Baptiste is the upgraded version where he can AoE heal and do a lot of damage both at once. Like, everybody that has seen the Baptiste guys, right? I'm sure you guys know about the shoot and heal combo, right? Like once you're behind your tank, what you do is you just like, you pump in the healing and then you just shoot. Pump in healing and shoot. Pump in healing and shoot. And the uptime of damage and healing for BAP is so consistent, right? And then you can do even more healing. And then you can do this. And then you bring in a damage amplification. What? What? How? So, like once you take this and then you pair it with Iliari and then you pair it with Kiriko, you pair it with Lifeweaver, this is where the problem comes in, right? And the only way to solve this problem is you lower healing to the level of where it's a little bit more like out damageable. Why? The question is, well, why do you want to do that? The reason is when Overwatch 2 first came out, Blizzard made the argument that because there's only one tank to heal, two supports are going to do a good job in keeping that tank alive. Guys, the support roster has no problem keeping squishy targets alive. Like, if you're smart on... Oh my god, I'm actually getting a sore throat. If you are if you're playing damage or whatever, right? Usually when you want heals or anything like that, you're going to LOS anyway, and that's more than enough time for Lifeweaver, Zenyatta, Lucio, Mercy, anybody to give you like a little kiss. They just need to kiss you for like a second, and then you can go back to doing your job, right? So the interactions with Squishy is not the problem, right? Take Iliari, take Baptiste, put them behind the Reinhardt or Orisa. Good luck killing that thing unless you play Baptiste or Echo. The problem is when you bring these pieces together. From an individual perspective, it's fine. But the problem in Overwatch is when these things work together, we have problems. And we saw that in the first game in rank today, right? Is that, oh, Iliari from an individual perspective of putting a pylon up and things like that, okay, fine. It's cute. It's fun. Whatever. Yeah, but what happens when a Torb is there and his buildable is up? What happens when Baptiste is there, his buildable is up? What happens when an Ashe is there and she throws bomb? What happens when Orisa is there and she just does this and does this? What do you interact with at that point? What do you interact with? You're not playing a shooter. And that's the meta that we're stuck in right now. Why not rework the support role like they did for the tank role? Because here's the funny thing, right? You don't need to rework supports. All you can do is the way they designed Lucio, Mercy, and Zenyatta. What do I mean by this, right? What I mean by this is I kind of like Life Weaver. I do believe Life Weaver's ultimate is broken, but his fundamental kit is not that much of a problem, right? Why? Because Life Weaver is basically like a pure healer style, like Mercy, where they're kind of one track. Like you just have to do this one thing, and you just have to do that right, and sometimes save a teammate and whatever, and that's it, right? It's not like he can do absurd damage, and he's extremely clunky, right? Why do people complain about Life Weaver, right? It's because Life Weaver was clunky. He feels old school Overwatch, right? And we know that old school Overwatch characters like Mercy, Lucio, and Zenyatta, at the moment, they're a little bit outdated, right? Like, because everybody's playing Baptiste, Ana, Iliari, etc., and things like that, right? So we can make an argument that, well, that playstyle is outdated. That's why people don't like Life Weaver. Granted that Life Weaver is a little bit clunky, I'm not denying that, but his ultimate is a problem, and that's a different story. But once you pair in these other characters that feel fluent in doing everything, right? Extremely fluent in doing everything at once, right? Guys, I'm like, go to your, like, next time you play, right? Go Baptiste, hold left and right click at the same time. I'm about to do that on screen right now. I can hold my mouse left and right click at the same time, and he does both. There is no downtime. I'm not trading anything. I'm not trading, and I can move. I can move around. I can also keep doing my movement while doing all of this. Okay, and I can also do this, and I can also do this. This is where what's the weakness of this character? Okay, his weakness is that he has poor synergy with some of the roster members. Like, he has poor synergy, but it doesn't matter because he has so much healing that it doesn't matter. Because you can play him as long as you keep your tank alive, it's fine. Then you pair it up with somebody else. So it's like the problem with support as well. I guess what I'm trying to say is each support can cover the other support's weaknesses so much that support as a role has no weakness, right? Why is Ana Brig meta, right? Like when we were in the last meta, right? Let me talk to you guys about something, right? When we were in this meta last, because I played this meta a lot, right? Over here, season 5, it doesn't matter EU or whatever, right? If you go to support, right? It's Ana Brig. Okay, well, EU, we're a bunch of trolls, right? If you go Ana Brig over here, right? Like, it's Ana Brig mostly, right? Ana Brig, Ana Brig, Ana Brig, some BAP, Brig, Ana Brig, Kiriko here and there, right? But if you wanted to reach the high rank, you played Ana Brig with some slight BAP and Kiriko here and there, depending on the tank that you played, right? Why was Ana Brig relevant? Brigitte was the babysitter for Ana. Why? Because she removes Ana's weaknesses. Ana is prone to dive. Okay, who's the anti-dive support? Brigitte. No, Ana just can't get contested. Brigitte can also heal from across the map. So they cover each other's weaknesses perfectly. And then that window for being able to punish supports becomes lower and lower and lower. Therefore, the role becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. A good place to start is the healing numbers because it's not going to affect squishy targets. Squishy targets get one shot by everything anyway. So who cares? It's the interaction with tank. We want to give tank players more agency, right? We give tank players more agency by letting tank being good at their job. If I pick Reinhardt right now, I have a question for the balance team, right? And my question to the balance team, why did Reinhardt's shield go down to 1600? Why? Oh, 1400. Sorry, I forgot they reduced it even more. Why is it at 1400? Because they don't want Ryan to have agency. Because if they gave him higher shield, Ryan would actually be good at being a tank. He could be good at closing distances. He could be good at fighting, at brawling. He could actually play his own game. But no, you can't do that because you weren't supposed to do that for you. Right? Oh, my shield broke. Oh, it's okay, bro. Here's the mortality field. Here's Suzu. Okay, just LOS now while we pump healing into you. Oh, your shield's back. Okay, let's try to make a push. Okay, let's use charge to get to the next choke. And then put my shield up while my supports just comfortably do whatever they want from across the map. Right? And that's the thing, is that support reduces the barrier for errors in this game by such a big margin. Okay, we're going to read comments now. I'm sorry, I kind of like went off on a tangent. And I haven't even read the YouTube comments yet. I just kind of went off over here, right? I hate Moira so much. That's a mood. Her skill floor is in hell. That's true. Casuals don't want to get better. They want to play a couple hours a week, then log off. Then complain about the guy that did play 8 hours and improve because they can't play. Exactly. Exactly, guys. Guys, Genji has the lowest damage that he's ever had. Why? This interaction here that you're about to see, this little 1 HP is all a Kiriko needs to stay alive. It's all an Ana needs to stay alive. It's all a Baptiste needs to stay alive. And then what? Where is the Genji? He's in the backline, right? Where does the support is? They're in the backline. You fucked this up. Now you face the 4 other people that are on you. How is this fun for the damage player? If they landed the combo perfectly, if they are in a position to punish the support because they caught them off guard, the support wasn't paying attention, whatever, why does the Genji player pay the price? Why is this a thing? This is more than enough time for any decent support player to stay alive. Even a Mercy gets out with her Guardian Angel. And the only support that you can make an argue that dies is Zenyatta, but yeah, guess what Zenyatta does? He just kicks you away. Kicks you away. And then you might miss some of your shurikens or whatever the case might be. You might be playing next to Mini or Mega. The window, and this is not just there for Genji. They're the same with Tracer as well. Obviously, like in here, it can look like Tracer can one-clip people easily. But in a real game environment, like Tracer coming up into your face to one-clip you like this is a death sentence now. What can you do? Oh yeah, and Iliari passively counters Tracer too, right? One of the reasons you would play Torb into Tracer is because the turret counter Tracer. If they play Tracer, you know what you do now? You pick Torb, you drop your turret. Your other support goes Iliari, she drops her turret. And whenever the Tracer comes in, there's a second and third extra player that is damaging and healing at the same time as you deal with the Tracer. How is that fair for the Tracer player? It's just not. It's extremely fun, extremely unfun, and I'm tired of them doing this. I'm tired, and again, you have two routes. It's either you lower the damage in the game, you lower the healing in the game, so the emphasis is put that, okay, even if you're going to play double main healer, we will reduce double main healing because there's more than enough of it in each main healer, not support. I don't want to use main support, off support. It gets confusing for low healer players, right? Main healer is people that can do high healing, off healer, they do low healing, right? So in this case, main healers will see a little bit of number reduction. Not by massive, just a little bit. Maybe 5 healing per second taken off all the supports that can main heal, right? Just a little bit. And see where we go from there. Does it make the game feel good, right? Because alternatively, we only have one solution left. Giga buff every damage hero in the game, and then Giga buff every tank in the game. What is the solution here? They dug themselves into this hole, and we've gone down this problem twice. We had it in Goats meta, we had it in Double Shield meta. That's why I couldn't stay quiet anymore. That's why I made the video. Because it's like, what do? You suck it up, you put your foot down, you tell support players to get better at the shooting part, and emphasize on them being the DPS, like a second DPS role, and then do that. And then the game actually feels fun to play because everybody is trying to play against everybody from a oh, I outskilled you, right? I don't care if it's easy for Moira to suck me or whatever, right? Or do this or whatever, right? Or how easy it might be for like Brigitte to just hold left click and do this, right? As long as the power for the character is in one direction and not 700 other directions, that's okay. That's why I don't mind Mercy. That's why I don't mind Lucio. That's why I don't mind Zenyatta. I don't mind Ana from an overall perspective. Nade is a little bit silly in 5v5, especially Anti. The only thing I'd love to see changed on her is the way Anti interacts with the game, or reduce the bio nade healing increase maybe to 20% and just see how it goes. Okay, that's an area that we can start and we can see what happens, because otherwise we're just gonna go back. Widow's gonna one-shot everything, Hounds is gonna kill you across the map, Junkrat gets his oppressive one combo, Genji is still dog shit because even back then he was dog shit. Okay, like Pharah gets a fire rate increase, Meg will actually freeze people again, Cassidy will get longer ranges, Ashe will get more damage, Soldier will get faster fire rate. They already gave Soldier more damage and then stripped him because it was like, yeah, whatever, we just want to nerf it so the support players can shut up, even though like it doesn't make that much of a difference for Soldier. We will go down power creep. I don't want to go down power creep. I would rather we suck it up and do something about supports. I would rather we do that. It's much better to do that. Do you think Lifeweaver should be off of main? He should be a main healer. Just look, like Lifeweaver cannot AoE heal until his ultimate, right? He's a single target healer, which is fine. It's fine, right? from this perspective, he's fine because you all you have to do is either outplay. And by the way, Life Weaver has a big hitbox, right? And he's clunky. Like he has his weaknesses, right? Life Weaver's problem is actually in his tree of life at the moment. It turns people into a mini tank, guys. Like it we literally like any time tree of life comes up, it's Goats Part 3, right? Or Part 4, whatever, right? But for example, like a character like Baptiste, right? Brigida, they can do like for example, when Brigida actually starts hitting people, right? She also starts healing. If she displaces somebody, she also starts healing, and she does damage, and she can bash people, and she can move around, and her cooldowns are really low, and she can toss healing packs across the map, and her ultimate turns her into a tank. Why is this? Why is there so much power in one character, right? And then you pair it with another character, and that's where it gets out of control. Life Weaver can be left as it is because he's like he's whatever, right? He's like he's so weird and whatever. That's like fine, whatever, right? If I was to do a quick patch, right? Life Weaver's like okay, the Tree of Life only gives you an extra 50 healing. The instead of giving you 100, so you have 300 HP in total, it gives you 50. I'm willing to compensate for that, right? So it's not garbage tier, right? Whatever. Only from an overhealth perspective, right? Honest change should either be the Bionades anti-season nerf to instead of cutting off healing, it reduces it. Okay, because it's a very unfun mechanic for tanks, right? And we gotta think about the tank players. This is for the tank players, not for damage players. Tank players, okay. Baptiste, if I speak, I will get in trouble for Baptiste. But Baps is there should be more stress for Bap to land his direct nades on squishies as well. But honestly, at this point, it's come to a point where it's like for Baptiste, you nerf the shift. Okay? Like I don't want to gutter support as a role because I'm not like the balance team. I don't want to gutter characters, right? I want to give everybody a slap on the wrist and see what happens, right? Instead of 100 healing from the shift that you can also combo with your right clicks, right? Let it be 50. 50 plus the 70 or 60 shot that the grenade does is more than enough. Compared with combine it with another tank helping you out. Oh, sorry, another support helping you out. It's more than enough, right? And tank players just like really like tank players have to stop thinking that they can do everything, right? Like if you have a tank player who just sits in main and doesn't expect like, oh, I can just do whatever I want, that guy's bad. That guy's bad at the game. We shouldn't balance supports and tanks around this guy, right? He should know how to play the game. He should know how to play corners and things like that, right? Whatever, right? So we give little slaps on the wrist and we see how it goes, right? And if the little slaps on the wrist got the job done, we leave it. And then we let the new heroes redefine the meta, right? And then we see, okay, what's going on? And then we come back to it, right? Otherwise, we go in a cycle. You didn't know about this BAP trick? Well, now you know. Also, in case you guys want another Baptiste trick, the right click wherever this healing grenade goes is the exact spot that your immortality field goes. So let's say like your tank is over there, right? Not over there. Oh my god. Over there. Okay, where that little blue thing is, right? So I throw my grenade over there. So now if I press my immortality field, it will go there too. So that's a little trick for you guys that want to play BAP, right? So really, really helpful trick. I saw it in a video from CarQ with Jane and all those guys. I miss Jane a lot. Dude, if Jane was here, he'd be talking about this every day. But anyways, the orb of Discord was an issue. Now it doesn't matter because nothing dies. Yeah, exactly. Orb of Discord is irrelevant right now because of Orisa. Even though in season 2 and 3, Orb of Discord was countering Orisa. Now it doesn't matter because the new thing that Orisa got, the new buff that she got, just negates that. It's just like it doesn't matter. It was 1200 before. They brought it up recently, but why was it down to 1200 in the first place? That's horrible. Yeah, no. If I remember in Beta 1, it was 1600. Because I remember in Beta 1, because I played a lot of Ryan in Beta 1, because he was so fun to play in Beta 1, right? I've had less fun playing McCree. I've been playing him since Overwatch 1. Dude, do you want to know something so funny about McCree? Or Cassidy, or whatever you call him? Come here. In the patch notes, they gave him this change, right? He was underperforming, and then they nerfed him. Wait, look at this, right? Developer comments, and they nerfed him further just so they can give him 225 HP, right? Even with the powerful and reworked magnetic grenade, Cassidy is still underperforming. And he was underperforming because like his range was kind of bad and the meta just didn't favor him, right? Like everything was faster, if I remember correctly, right? And the healing was too high, right? And magnetic grenade got nerfed, so his burst damage potential went down, right? So they were like, we are reverting his maximum HP back to 225, and his gun damage fall off will reach the full reduction even sooner, restricting the max range. Dude, why would you say that he's underperforming as a damage dealer, and then you nerf the damage? This is the balance team of Overwatch 2. It's so funny when you think about it. This character is underperforming because he cannot kill anything, because he's struggling against all the healing in the game. What do we do? I don't know. Let's just remove his range. It's so funny when you think about it. They said he's underperforming and then they gutted him because they gave him 225 HP. I can't. It's as funny as when Genji first got his nerfs, where because of the DPS passive, Genji was kind of strong, right? Kind of strong, right? And then they were like, okay, we're going to nerf him a little bit. And then they nerfed him too much. And everybody on Twitter was like, Mr. Alec Dawson, didn't you say that Genji was strong because of the DPS passive? So now that you have removed the DPS passive, don't you think Genji can get a buff? And they're like, no, he's popular. Dude, just because a character is popular doesn't mean he's in a good spot. Genji will obviously always be popular because he's a unique character, just like Doomfist. People will always play Doomfist and Genji because they're unique. Just like how people play Mercy all the time. That doesn't mean that the character is in a good or bad spot, it just means the character's, it's fun character. This is the balance team, man. Eliari has more raids than Bakria. I know. It's so funny. You also want to know something? Eliari has a better DPS ult than 80% of the DPS roster. Because you cannot do anything about it, right? If a Mei throws her thing, if a Mei throws her free, like, I'm not going to talk about like deflects and eating these things, right? Because then I can make an argument for everything, right? But in the hypothetical scenario that everything works out, if a Mei throws her blizzard, you can walk away from it, right? Right? You can walk away from it. If a Cassidy ults, you can just like walk away from it, right? Soldier ults, you can LOS it, you can walk away from it, right? Torbjorn ults, walk away from it. Symmetra, he just shows you how much of a fan Donald Trump would be for her, right? Because she just loves building walls, right? Okay? If Sojourn ults, you can just LOS it. Like, people have gotten smart enough to understand that, okay, Sojourn's ulting, let's just walk out of the way, right? And that's kind of become like, people have become good at that part, right? They've become good at using corners, using line of sight properly and things like that, right? Eliari, the sun projectile is massive. It's invisible. The ball is actually bigger. You can't see it. I'm sure you guys have seen the funny clips on Noob Hunter and shit like that, right? The ball is massive. And then what happens is, think about it like this, right? This is a support character. It's a massive ball. It lands on you and does an initial damage. It also slows you, by the way. It also slows you like a Doomfist ult, or whatever the case might be, right? It slows you down. It puts a negative effect that if a certain damage criteria is met, and you just need to do a little bit more tickle damage, you don't need to do that much. You just tickle, right? You blow up. It's not a support character. But guys, Dragon Blade is oppressive. Okay? Don't get me wrong. Dragon Blade is very, very unhealthy. We need to nerf it to 110 and not put it back to 120 for whatever the case. Like Dragon Blade is oppressive. Tactical Visor needs to be clunky. Cassidy ult needs to be garbage. Junkrat Tire needs to blow up the second a support sneezes at it. You know, like it's really funny, man. It's really funny when you think about it. I've seen people say for Cassidy that instead of the nade, you should have a bit large some shooter for coaches. Like, how's this a good idea? I don't know. Cassidy, here's the funny thing, right? Cassidy's problem is a little bit awkward. Like, he's a really simple character, and simple characters kind of fall into this problem where unless they're over kitted, they can't keep up with things. And sometimes it's okay. Like, he has his maps where he's good, and then he has his maps where he's not good, right? It's like we can't make them fit everywhere, right? Like, it just is what it is. It's okay to have like map dependent picks, right? It's not okay to have characters like Torb and Bastion go out of control and take over the game, right? That's just not fun for the game. Especially cheese picks. Like, my problem right now is like, okay, fine, we can ignore the support role. Like, if we have to, we can ignore the support role. We just need to get rid of Ursa, Bastion, Torb. Like, I think at any point, even SVB made a tweet about this, is if there's ever a point. Oh, Ricochet. Oh, that would actually be interesting. I think it's worth trying out. I think it would be really, really cool. Like I said, like, dude, this is the thing I want from Blizzard. I want them to experiment with different game directions. This is a new balance team, and their game direction was, oh, let's just go back to goats. Let's just go back to everybody being in a big ball, nobody off angles because of the threat that you will just die, because five other people will look at you and delete you. Okay, like, none of that is like when Overwatch 2 started, it was really fun because everybody could kind of be everywhere. And yeah, it was chaotic, it was messy, but guys, that's why we love Overwatch. Why was Overwatch 1 game of the year? Because it was a chaotic mess. And then they were like, no, you must play in a big ball, otherwise, like, screw you. Play in a big ball or go F yourself. Like, every time we go into the big ball, like, play as a big unit, it never goes well for this game. And that's where we are again. Happy birthday. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so many birthday wishes. Thank you, guys. If support isn't easy to play, easy to get value, does what make them broken? Okay, here's the thing though. Like, is it because, like, are they making supports broken because support is bad? Or are they making them broken because the player base that plays support is those type of people that just don't want to get good at first person shooters? Do you understand what I mean, right? Like, this is the question that we need to ask ourselves. Is it the role that's bad? Or is it the players that are bad? Like, for example, like, I could argue that 95% of Genji players are bad. Does that mean Genji needs to be gigabuff? No. 95% of people that play Widowmaker are bad. Does that mean Widowmaker needs to be like out of control? Does she need a soft aimbot so you can feel good on her? No. Sit there like all the other 5% that spend hours and hours practicing. Sit there, commit to the grind, enjoy the fact that you lost, take pride in it, and then get better. That's the point of shooters. It's there in Apex to a certain extent. I know Apex has its own problems, I'm not denying it. It's there in Valorant. Again, same situation. I know there's my point is the core aspect of the shooter part is still there. Granted that each game has their own weirdness. Overwatch is the one that took it out of control, and they do this all the time. It's the third time we've done it in Overwatch, right? And that's where we are at, and that's what people don't understand. I got all these support players coming in. They're like, "Oh, you don't want support to be good. You want supports to be walking health packs. You want supports to be a free kill." I'm not saying support should be like that. I'm saying supports complement each other so well that this same synergy that requires minimal effort isn't there in damage and tank. And because in turn that means that it's easier for supports to get value, we should do something about support synergy with each other. Dude, back in my day, playing Lucio and Mercy meant that you got reported and banned, right? And I mean, you still do. If you play Lucio and Mercy, that's the worst support comp you can play together, by the way. But nowadays it's like, before you were like, okay, let's play Ana for the high healing, and let's play Zenyatta for some damage. Okay, well now it's like, okay, let's play Bap and Iliari for the high healing, high damage immortality, damage amplification, insane ultimate from here. It's just like, what? That's what's happened. They can just do more now. And every new support that will come out, they will be like that. The only one that they messed up on was Lifeweaver because they were obsessed with making sure the gimmick for Lifeweaver stays, right? Because they have this unhealthy obsession where they're like, no, the gimmick has to be a thing, right? And Lifeweaver's gimmick is the pedal platform, right? Symmetra, and it's the same problem with Symmetra, right? Symmetra can never be meta because her gimmick is like the building aspect, right? And this is what happens. I think burst healing is a problem. Yeah, exactly. Burst healing is a problem. Healing over time isn't. That's why Moira, while she has high healing numbers, her healing doesn't necessarily, or even Life Weaver, it doesn't feel necessarily oppressive to play against because it takes time for Life Weaver to dish it out and it can be inconsistent. And Moira generally has to keep her spray on the target, right? But Baptiste, Ana, they can keep pumping. There's little downtime. Iliari can keep pumping, little downtime. Brigida, if she's really good at the game and she understands how to play. Kiriko, very little downtime. That's the problem, right? And the only other support that has very little downtime is Mercy. But Mercy's trade-off is that she can only do one thing at a time. It's either she shoots, it's either she damage boosts, or it's either she heals. And that's why I don't mind Mercy. I don't think Mercy is a problem. I don't think Lucy is a problem. I don't think Zen is a problem. I think we need to look at the way the other supports all interact within that same bubble of Ana, Bab, Brig, Iliari, Life Weaver, Moira, right? Because they are the ones that come with the high healing. And that's what we need to think about, that it's the fact that you can have two of them on the same team at the same time that's unfun to play against. That's just how it is. And we have to draw a line somewhere, because if we don't have a choice but to gig above DPS. Guys, there's a reason why Bastion and Echo are the only viable picks. What do the two of them have in common? Extremely high burst damage. Why? Because of the high healing, number one, and number two, because of Tanks' ability to just like to find a way to stay alive through everything. At the moment, it's Orisa, right? Ramacho was a little bit silly like 2 seasons ago, but the changes that they did this season, Ram is kind of like really weird right now, honestly, right? But I would rather have like Bap, Brig, Iliari, Kiriko, Lifeweaver, and Moira be more situational picks than, well, I can play them whenever I want and I can just take over the game because I can make sure nobody dies. And the worst part is that if you on the opposing side of the team, if you don't mirror that playstyle, you lose. And we saw that in the first ranked game today when we played and we didn't mirror this Bob the Builder comp. Great name, that guy deserves a battle pass for it. Um, if we don't mirror that, we just lose. Because we're spending, like, you guys, to the people that are joining, if you were not there, we were playing a ranked game earlier, and we it was Ilios Ruins, and me and my team spent the entire round shooting buildables. We destroyed Pylon. Pylon goes away. Torb has its turret up. We gotta destroy that too. Okay, Torb turret goes away. Immortality Field comes up. Okay, destroy Immortality Field. Oh, it doesn't matter. Iliari's Pylon just came back. Okay, we destroyed that. Oh, well, Torb's turret came back. Oh, well, Immortality Field came back. And when you put all of these things together, it's extremely overwhelming. And that's where I think flankers have to be viable at all times. They're the only characters that can deal with this. Genji, Tracer, Sombra is getting a rework, so we'll see what happens with her, right? Reaper, Genji, Reaper, Tracer, they are the quote-unquote flankers of the game, right? They need to stay in good spots every time. Like, guys, we're in a meta where Reaper cannot compete against a tank. Like, whenever a tank gets a bit silly, you're like, oh, I'll pull out the Reaper, right? You can't play Reaper. The guys whose whole job is to burst down a tank cannot burst down a tank. I'm gonna call it Bob the Builder Comps in a bunker. The guy that suggested it is a legend. It was a great name. It's a great name. But that's what happened. Like, we're in a meta right now where Reaper cannot kill tanks. It was all downhill when Doom became a tank. I don't mind tank Doom. I miss DPS Doom. Like, he was the second my second most played. But it's like, I don't mind it. Like, it's okay. Like, I would prefer him in DPS, but it's whatever. Like, it's like, sure, I guess. Like, I don't mind it. But they shouldn't be scared of letting him be good. That I mind, right? The problem with Doom right now is that they don't want him to be good. Why? Because your low elo players complain. Hey, he's flying around the map. I can't shoot him. I can't kill him. He's everywhere. Yeah, okay, so why didn't we gut a Wrecking Ball? Wrecking Ball can do the same thing. Oh, that's right. Wrecking Ball cannot be played by low elo players, right? They don't understand how to even just hook on a wall and roll forward, go up, and then slam down, and that's who we're balancing for. But people that can't even fundamentally do that. And when they play Ryan, they play him like a shield bot, and not the brawl thing that goes up, takes space, and denies space, and can do a lot of burst damage if played right. That's what we're balancing for. His movement feels garbage now. It's because of all the bugs. I spoke about this earlier. I don't know if you were there. Like, I was playing Doom earlier. We had a really good Doom game that we lost. I had 14k damage. By the way, imagine, and my DPS, the next highest was 8k. Imagine losing a game like this. Imagine losing. Because they just had all the healing, they had all the buildables. Like, at that, and by the way, Doomfist has some of the lower numbers on the tank side of things, right? Like, why did I have to lose this game? Wait. Where's that stat thingy, like, that shows you how much damage you did and everything? Like, did they remove that? Wasn't there like a, oh yeah, personal, right? No. Yeah, look at this. Hero damage done, 14k. Okay. 29 elims. Okay, 4 assists, whatever it is. 7,000 damage negated, right? 17 rocket punch kills, 18, like, well, these are just combo, right? These are just to make you feel good, right? Right? 3 meter strikes, used to somebody cares, right? I did all of this and I can't win. Why? Look at what they were playing. Look at the enemy team call. uh, you know, we were playing a very honest game of Overwatch. They didn't want to lose. They pulled out the Bastion. They pulled out the 2 builders, and they were like, "Let's go. Let's see the Doomfist do something." Look at my stats. Look at this. 29 to 9, 14. Okay, yeah, I have a lot of best, but like this was a weird game, right? But and I kind of like flew off the map 2 times, so it doesn't count. The deaths don't even matter, right? 14k. Like, this tank is bare. Like, I've doubled the damage that he did. I brought double the value that he did. But it's fine because they played Bastion and Torb, right? So I guess I just deserve to lose. I just deserve to lose. I just deserve to lose. I hate the Torb and Bastion meta. Guys, like, it's legitimately pick your poison. All they were missing was an Orisa. Yeah, I know, right? Literally. Wait, Sophia, what are you talking about? Reaper being bad against stack happened in Ghost too. Yeah, the thing is, when they buffed Reaper in the Ghost meta, they thought it would solve the problem. It made Reaper oppressive in low elo, and it didn't change anything at high elo. So how many times does Blizzard want to go down this route where, oh, we will balance for low elo, we will balance for low elo? It doesn't make a difference down there because people are bad in low elo, obviously, and the people that understand how to play the game, now they're just like, yeah, well, yeah, that's kind of strong, but it doesn't matter because it's like, it's whatever, right? It's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't change what it is. I don't know what was their thought process for buffing the fire rate for Torb. I don't know. I like the biggest red flag was when the game came out. They did this blog post, I remember, where they were like, we want each season to have an identity. And this and they then had a follow-up a few seasons later that people don't like that. They don't want that, right? And they said that they would go back on it and they wouldn't do it again. We have the patch notes coming out 4 to 5 hours from now, right? If that doesn't change the state of the game and remove Orisa, Bastion, Tor from the meta, or make them more vulnerable or whatever the case might be, I don't know with this game anymore. I really don't know with this game anymore. It's my favorite game, and it's the only game I've ever played that shies away from rewarding skill. I've played so many games: Fortnite, Apex, Valorant, CS:GO, so many shooters, so many MMOs, RPGs, everything. Where it's like, okay, if you understand how to do your job, you will get rewarded, right? And you sit there, and you're like, okay, I like this game. I want to get better at it. I want to get good at it. And Overwatch is the only one where it's like, okay, if you're not good at this character, that's fine, because here's the same character with a slightly different kit, but it can bring the same value, right? It can bring almost the same value, and all you have to do is look in the general direction and make a difference. And that's where it's just kind of like, okay, fine, we can have that, that's okay. But what's the drop off? Like, what's the weakness? And then Blizzard's like, no, there's no weakness. The weakness is the player themselves. If they are bad at this character, they're bad. That's the problem. I hate the changes for Sim and Torb. Yeah, I hate them too. Balancing only needs to happen in extreme cases for low elo. Yeah, exactly. Like I think there are some cases where you can balance for low elo. I don't deny that, right? But when you make it a majority of your balance, is a problem. Like for example, I know because I'm the Genji guy here and things like that. But if you want to take the Genji example, right? What is it that low elo players complain about? Nanoblade, right? What is it that Genji players want? Not to be a blade bot, right? And then you're like, the Genji representatives, the Genji community, everybody's like, hey, no Nanoblade. I don't care about the shurikens of Genji. I don't like Nanoblade. Oh my god, that jump scared me. Golden 1 2 3 4 5 4. Thanks for the subscribe, right? So we understand that players don't like getting one-shotted, right? The Hog who got nerfed, Widow and Hanzo lost some power here and there. Nanoblade is a combo of two ults. I understand that, right? But still, fundamentally speaking, it is not fun, right? It is not fun to play against. It is not fun for the people involved that, oh shit, there's nothing we can do now. What, okay? It also is not fun for the Genji player personally because we, like, if the Ana doesn't nano us, we're fucked, right? We were playing Ilios Ruins earlier, and my Ana just decided to nano the Doom that was feeding instead of giving it to me for Blade. And from that point, you as a Genji player lose all hope. You're like, excellent. My support didn't enable me. I can't do anything. I'm gonna AFK because like I can't play the game. If I blade into like 8 people, Iliari, Pylon, Torp Turret, and Immortality Field included, I am not gonna kill anything. And there you go. That's the state of a character like Genji right now. And this is what I said in the video. If you, like if your supports do not want you to play the game, you can't play the game. If they give you resources and they want you to play the game, you must go and play the game. Hi Cass, how are you? Why do they cater to players who don't even understand basics? Because it's a flawed philosophy of them thinking that if we make these people feel happy, they will stay and play our game, and then they will buy the battle pass and blah 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 blah. And that's the basic version of it. But it's a flawed thinking process. Nanoblade is too easy to counter. Yeah, well, now it is quote unquote easy to counter. The problem is that it's still unfun to play against, right? Because that's what people don't want. Like, at the end of the day, if they want to go with this philosophy that, okay, we will take power away from one part and then put power away in something else, this is what they're kind of doing, right? Except with their exceptions, let's say, right? Then the argument for Genji is just like Hanzo back in season 10 in Overwatch 1, don't like Genji cannot be nano boosted. He can still be damage boosted, but not by Mercy, and affected by Discord Orb, that he can do more damage against discorded targets because it's a more fair way of doing it, right? Especially since the Mercy has to keep up with a zooming around the Genji, right? It's difficult for Mercy players sometimes. So we can make an argument that don't let Genji get the damage increase, and instead give him power in his shurikens. Because the real, like, what makes a really good Genji player is how good they are with the shuriken. Blade is the easy part. Blade is the easy part. It just requires like 1 hour of practice, getting the muscle memory down, and boom, you now know how to play Dragon Blade Simulator. But is Dragon Blade Simulator what we want for a character like Genji? No, of course not. It's not fun. Especially since they also nerfed the ult charge and they never changed it after they nerfed his damage. So his ult charge overall also is higher than what it's supposed to be. A free team fight with no CC is fundamentally not fun. Yeah, exactly, I agree. I feel like 2 ults winning the fight is fine. It costed the two of them. Yeah, look, I agree with that logic, right? But it's Blizzard's logic that no, if we will buff the character, we will remove power from some other part of the kit. But removing power from Genji's dash or deflect makes no sense because it deletes the character. And we're back at square one. So what's the frustration by the rest of the player base? Well, it's nanoblade. Okay, fine. You can make it so that he can't get nanoed. He can maybe do faster swings. Maybe in Dragon Blade, his dash can do a little bit more damage. There's ways to go around it, right? So then you make Genji as an individual character more fun to play without Nanoblade being a thing and having better shurikens. That's much better. That's much better. Then, okay, I sit around, I hold left click, right click on the enemy tank, I get Blade, I use Blade, they use Immortality Field, I get booped away, I can't do anything, I'm useless, my team reported me, I got banned. It's much better than that philosophy. So otherwise, like we will go back in time where we just gig above DPS. And honestly, the patch notes that we get tonight spell the future for this game. And I really hope we don't go backwards and we go forward. Because if we don't, and the funny thing is, I predicted this in my previous video. I predicted this in my previous video when I was covering the balance patch, I think over here on my YouTube channel. Hold on. Where when I was talking about the Symmetra meta and the huge buffs that came, where Soldier became really good, right? And when I was talking about that, I was like, oh, there's a weird trend that's kind of happening, you know, with Brigida, with Life Weaver, with some of the little changes supports are getting here and there. Kiriko's little rework. She got a net buff on Suzu. So, from that perspective, you know, I don't know why I'm getting sick. I got a stuffy nose now. But from that perspective, there was a trend of supports getting a lot of love over time. And now the whole role, bar three characters, when you put all of them together and the way that their kids can work together, it has reached a point of extreme. So, what's next? The ball is in their field. They will talk about it tonight. And we're supposed to get a blog post talking about community topics. There's a 10% chance that Blizzard puts the game back into a good balance state. I hope. I really hope. I really want to see a buff to Genji, if I'm being honest with you. I feel like we've reached a point now as well where flankers need a buff, which I don't agree with. But if they don't change their stance on support, Tracer, Reaper, and Genji do need buffs. If Tracer, Genji, and Reaper fall out, because Reaper is like the low elo flanker, right? So we have to think about him too a little bit. So if they start to fall out, we need to do something about it. And that's all I really have to say. I'm sorry, I didn't really get to like address a lot of people's comments and things like that. I started to feel really sick all of a sudden. Because I did celebrate last night. We had some cake and some cold drinks, so I think that's kind of hitting me right now. We will talk more about this tonight when the patch notes come out. I don't know if I will do a live stream or not. Um, well, I do want to do a live stream to kind of talk about it. Um, but right now I'm just feeling really sick all of a sudden. I don't know why. Is Sombra issue related to support? No. So Sombra's problem is that in the general game she's garbage because players are not coordinated, and then in the high level gameplay, Overwatch League, contenders, and even some top 500 and GM games, there is a decent amount of coordination to where she becomes really powerful. And her problem can only be addressed by reworking the character's abilities. Like she needs a new identity. She can't have. I think they already are doing this. They said that she won't have perma invis. Translocator is being reworked somewhat to do some other things, and I think hack is going away. I don't remember what they said. Supports are very loud on Twitter. Yeah, I've seen the support players on Twitter. Don't worry. They buffed Diva last match, so they seem okay with the buffing dive. Yeah, Russ, here's the problem though. Diva has become more of a brawl tank than she is a dive tank right now. Yes, you can play her in dive comps. I'm not denying that. Please don't misunderstand. But the way you play her now is more like I sit with my team and I walk with them. I misplace some people. I come back to them and I fight with my team. Like she's not that aggressive dive style that was there in Overwatch 1 because Winston was kind of there to help enable that, right? Now she's a little bit more like, okay, I gotta kind of like look for an opportunity where somebody's being stupid. I can punish that, and in that same second, I have to also get out and get back to my team. That's what she's kind of become like right now, right? We have patch notes today. Yeah, we have patch notes today. It happens in it depends. It's 5 p. It's almost 6 p.m. for me. So it happens either 9, 10, 11 p.m. my time. So that will be the area where we get patch notes. But we should get a blog post. Like I don't understand why we still don't have a blog post. And in the blog post they usually talk about like why they're doing what they're doing. I know the SK video that talked about the state of ranked. That is something that they want to address. So I honestly don't know if they're even going to change this meta. Like, it's going to be so weird if out of nowhere, like, if they just giga buff something else entirely, right? Like they're just like, oh yeah, well, anyways, we're gonna buff Sim. I can honestly see that happening. I wouldn't be surprised. I actually don't know if we might do a live stream later. I am feeling a little bit sick all of a sudden, so that's not good. I'm gonna get some soup. We're gonna take a bit of a break now. I'm gonna get some soup, and if you guys are still interested in around maybe 3, 4, 5 hours from now, you can drop by. We can see the new patch notes and discuss what's going on. As always, if you want to support the channel for free, subscribe, like. It helps with the algorithm. I'm gonna keep it real, and most importantly, you know, drop a comment. That helps with the algorithm too. No sim buffs. I don't want sim buffs either. Anyways, guys, I will call it for the stream over here. I'm feeling a little bit out of it, but the next time we come around, we're gonna see what happens with the patch notes. So with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good day, and thank you so much for dropping by my birthday. And I really hope you guys stick around with the channel. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much. Especially to shout outs to Psionic. He's been around for a while. Psionic, I really appreciate the support. And hopefully, everybody else that was here in chat today sticks around for the future as well. So much love. Have a good day.